Smooth transitions, professionals with updated drivers. Hey everyone, welcome to the Ball episode of our Game of Thrones Song of Ice and Fire role-playing game campaign After the Fire. We are here. Charlie has kind of taken the place of Jason in this overlay now, and is finally back with us. Hello, friend. How are you doing?
Hello, friend. I'm trying to decide if it's a good thing or a bad thing to be in Jason's seat. I guess we will find out over the course of today. I am super excited to be back, to be honest. I am really sorry in a way for semi-delaying events, but at the same time, the juicy fruits have been ripe in my absence. I'm still fucking about with my screen because I'm trying to make everything fit.
It's all right.
Don't mind me.
We've got time. I told you, we're professionals.
Super professionals. This is stream 1 of the day for me, because there's a lot of Gen Con stuff that's kicked off this week. We also just posted up trailers for next week because Encounter Roleplay is back. But I am very excited to be back here in Westeros with the fam for a ball. Because, damn it, George, why didn't you put balls in the books? We need them. We need dancing and fun. And fun opportunities for shanking. Thank you.
Fun.
I'm playing Marcia Greenmont. I'm currently the head of the house. Thank you.
At least until Bryn comes of age. At least. Well, we'll see. I don't know. Tom, how you doing, my friend?
Yeah, I'm not doing too bad at all. I'm
Good.
not doing too bad. It's been an all right week.
Good.
But yeah. I'm playing Enzo, who just enjoys having fun. So this episode should be great.
What's with our character intros this week? We never used to do this.
I know. I don't know why. I just saw Charlie and I thought, I should mimic Charlie. That? I should, get my character out there as well, so everyone knows. And just in case, there is someone new.
That's fair. Well, remember Enzo's got some off-screen help via Simon as well.
I do.
So
yes.
Yeah, we'll figure out how we're going to do that because I legit haven't figured that out.
That's fine. I mean, it could be just as simple as Jesse rolls up.
You should just Discord Jason. Can you find out this for me?
Yeah, do it, Jason. And he would. He would as well. Absolutely would.
Sure.
But I'm looking forward to it. The ball episodes are going to be. I've been looking forward to it for such a long time. The intrigue, the dancing, just the whole atmosphere. It's going to rock. It's going to be great. There's going to be juicy fruits everywhere. And it's just, it's going to be awesome. I can't wait.
Yeah. Nice. All right. Well, so Susanna Grace here got on the Zoom call first and popped up all dressed up. And I was like, I can't let you just do this. So here I am with my stupid flouncy sleeves and my LARP shirt that smells minging.
I promise for the folks back home and my mum who's currently in chat, I am wearing clothes. It's just an off-the-shoulder dealie. So when the camera crop is not great, but I am wearing clothes. So, But yeah, anyway, I'm really excited for this ball. Charlie and I have an action plan. We have targets. We have objectives. We have schemes and plots, which are all good and pure and all about friendship and nothing else. Maybe
someone does.
But yeah, I'm really hype. Much like Charlie says, George didn't put balls in the books, and I feel like there should have been more dancing because that's when a lot of intrigue and shit goes down. So I'm here to dance.
Charlie, what the hell?
You fucking said it first, Charlie. Why are you laughing at that?
I didn't hear it when it came out of my own mouth.
All right, cool. Looking forward to the balls.
And anyway, I'm playing Marcia Greenmont, the right and true Queen of Dawn. Anyway, thank you. I cede my time.
Oh my god. All right, maybe let's chat to everyone's favourite disaster couple. How are you doing, friends? Yes, I'm talking to both of you at once. You figure it out.
Doing okay.
Good.
I can't possibly see any terrible decisions that Mara could make tonight. It's not like she's ever made terrible decisions in a Weirwood Grove ever. That's never been a thing.
Fair. Dawn, are you as excited?
Yeah, I have no idea what's going on. I don't know that. Yeah, I am. It's been a super busy couple of weeks for me. And this is my happy place, my escape, the fam. No matter what happens, no matter what happens to me or to my characters in real life or in the game, I'm happy to be here. So yeah, I don't know. I just saw for the first time our little rules for some of the stuff that's happening tonight, some of the homebrew rules, and I'm very excited about those. And I'm just gonna go with the flow. I'm just gonna see what happens.
So am I, Don.
Oh, I play. I'm Lord Samwell Tarly. We have a really big army. It's really big, guys.
Big. It does seem like that the ladies have a plan where the men are just like, I just want to have a good time. Just want to have a dance,
Mate.
drink, some
Don
food.
and
let's
I
do
have
this.
How
spent-
long have you been playing this game?
Right.
Don and I have spent way too long discussing weird backstory details about Sam and Mara than actually scheming about who they want to talk to and how they're gonna get out of the situation they're in.
That's where the juice is.
And we really legitimately, me as a player, I don't really know what's going on behind the scenes, whereas maybe in previous seasons I had a little more of an idea of what might be happening. I really have no idea. So that's actually super fun for me.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
they're just stumbling through this together and seeing what trouble they get themselves into. It's kind of their only plan, is just see what happens.
I do have to call out Don this week because we played an unfortunately amazing game of Dark Sun at the weekend, and he made me feel some feelings, and I don't like it. I like sitting here, being the puppet master, and doing all that.
Sorry.
Didn't
Payback.
like it. Don't like
Payback time, Sam.
it. Don't like it. But it's cool.
I apologize.
My Throat
That's
Queen's
cool.
got a new clutch with his cool gang of questers going after a defiler. It's going to be fantastic.
And Sam plays in our Dark Sun, our little our private Dark Sun game that we play on the weekends. Sam plays the best Thrycreen, best boy Thrycreen.
I keep forgetting he's got that cloak, that stupid flying cloak thing.
Yeah, he can fly now. Yeah, he's basically Superman the Bug. That's your character now.
Yeah, I'll lean into it next time. Cool. All right. Yes.
Sorry to interrupt, but we forgot one incredibly important thing that happened over the past week with a certain online tabletop provider roll dice thing.
Thanks, marketing coordinator. We are now. Is it an affiliate? It's some kind of affiliation with Roll20.
Mm-hmm.
So we give them a shout out. I genuinely actually is my favorite tabletop, virtual tabletop. I use it for a lot of games. I am you know how people will create 100 characters and then they'll never play them? I have 20 Roll20 games set up ready to go and I have never played them. I'm there creating assets and chucking pictures in and stuff. And yeah, I've never played them. I have 3 Star Trek games just ready to go. I should probably just invite some people in and play them at some point. I don't know. Anyway. Use Roll20, it's great. And it's free. There we go. Was that right?
Nailed
Susan?
it. Yes. Why'd you even hire me? You should do all the marketing for
Dunno.
Black Cat.
It's fine.
Nailed it.
James has given me some dice. I think that's a bonus dice. I will have
James
a bonus
Byrne.
dice. Yeah, if you want to interact with the stream, you can do. You can tip us. I think it's tip. Hey. You can give these fine folks some extra bonus dice for them to roll with their rolls. It helps them out immensely, and it saves them from being disasters, which they inevitably will be. James, our other half of Black Cats Gaming, is often in chat throwing us some monies to give me all the dice so I can make the people an absolute disaster. Yeah. So, if you fancy it, check it out. Otherwise, let us start our episode of Season 4, Episode 4, A Dance with a Fox. Seeing as we haven't seen you in a little while, Charlie, let's start with Marzia. I would like to start with Marzia. Where, before the actual ball kicks off, we've had these fine folks doing a little bit of the people are gathering at the new keep that you have, this new castle. People have been hanging around outside with some drinks, a few vol-au-vents, And I think we'll rewind time a little bit to maybe a bit of prep. Where do we find Marcia before things kick off? And what is she up to? Does she need to do anything?
I think we catch her just as she's leaving the musicians in the gallery, having run through the playlist for the night, expressly stating which songs were to be played when, checking which tunes had been suggested for various things, including the Dance of Champions for the end of the night, and checking in, I imagine, with Sir Henrik, who's hovering to find out who has arrived in the time she's been making sure everything's set up, and kind of on her way towards her solar. And I think Sir Henrik is delivering the news that there is still no sign of the Baratheon contingency, which is a stressful moment for Marcia because we are meant to have a Baratheon champion. And when you have a champion's dance at the end of your ball and there's a champion missing, it's a problem. But it will be a problem for Marcia later tonight. She still needs to get changed into her dress, make sure that Brynn is properly attired. And she wants to steal a moment with Miria as well before tonight, because tonight is a very important night for her daughter. And they have a few things, I think, to discuss. So she's going towards her solo because there's something in there that she wants to collect before she meets Miria. And I imagine she's kind of checking in with servants on the way on, no, that snake is overcooked, try again. Where is Brynn? Can someone find Braith, please? And just, the general, it's the day of the wedding type energy.
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you mean the flowers aren't here?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Asking for Enzo, checking in on various people who have arrived, etc., etc.
Yeah, there are servants rushing by you, taking orders and running down corridors to find your son, to find his maid, essentially, I think. And you swing around the corridor to the next wing and pass by Ellery's door, just ajar, and just through the crack you can see that he is preparing by being dressed by his squire, the young Lord Blackmont, although not an inherited title now. But he is in a pretty fine tabard surcoat type affair, clearly emblazoned with his heraldry, and so he is a kind of in an orange cloth, brightly dyed, with his black castles on the front. And then you just next door separately is Miria.
I think she would pause at Ellery's door and knock lightly to kind of exchange a glance of, are you okay? Is there anything we need to talk about? And if he seems quite happy and busy, then she'll leave him be. But if he seems like he needs to talk, then she would speak with him. It's an important night for him as well.
Can I help you, Lady Marcia?
Just wanted to be sure that everything's well.
Yes, everything's not too tight. And he's like talking to, I think it's Randall. No, that's not the guy, isn't it?
Raina? Something like that, right?
Raymar.
Raymar. I was so close.
So many fucking names. Yeah. Yeah, because he's tightened his belt a bit too tight and he squeals a little bit at it. And then turns to you and says, have you spoken to Lady Miria? Is she okay? Nervous?
I'm just on my way to see her now, but I'm sure she is enjoying a glass of wine and sat impatiently waiting to get to the event. Miria is not very good at waiting for anything.
He smiles a little bit at that, and then his belt gets tightened once again, and he yelps slightly. This time, he backhands Raymar.
My lord. Can I get you some more wine? And she's going to glance to the squire and kind of give him the side eyes of, leave the room.
Yeah, he takes your cue. And he heads off into the corridor to fetch some wine.
You can't slap him like that, especially not right now.
Ellery stands, his hands on his hip, broadly, and then he, like, as he moved into the room slightly, he moved further into it too, almost kind of towards the wall, and you get a sense that he is trying to keep a lid on things and trying to kind of contain his outburst.
What is it that's bothering you, Ellery?
Have you fully considered the guests that are here at this castle tonight?
For many months. Whom is it that has your objection?
Well, several Dornish lords, if truth be told.
And I have the objection of several Reacher lords. But everyone is to be invited who is of appropriate status.
As do I. Marcher lords, I mean. Lords Karen, Pierce.
Everyone here has a history with everyone else, do they not? One time or not, if you trace back enough histories, you will find that blood has been spilt by one hand or another. One castle once belonged to another family, and so forth. And she kind of pointedly looks to one of the castles on his heraldry. But if we are to move forward, there are some things that we will forgive, if not forget. New friendships to be made. And if you're to stay at Blackmont, we need to continue working towards that peace. Continue to bring a settled feeling to it all. To let matters rest so that we can move on to the actual problems we face. Bittersteel's army, for example. The siege was not so long ago, and I am more than aware of how long generals' memories last. And how desperately that man wants the throne of Westeros and to rip apart these kingdoms.
The Battle of Brimstone wasn't all that long ago too. And several of the belligerent lords key to that conflict are here as well.
I am aware.
But,
and we have to stop these conflicts from continuing to bubble.
And you've always been very eloquent.
They're like festering cysts. You can smell the stink of it. You can lance it, but you have to let it heal properly. And you have to make the effort to care for it, not just ride for miles and miles through the desert and continue to battle, hoping miraculously it will take care of itself, or that another battle will magically heal the wound and not simply replace it with a fresh, new, deep one.
You drain a cyst, don't you, Lady Marcia? If I'm not mistaken.
That is the first step, yes. And we must drain the anger out of the hall tonight. There will be an opportunity for the physical outlet, I am sure, at the tourney, one that many are going to enjoy. There will be a fuel with plenty of wine and ale that Enzo has prepared and procured for us, that our good allies have sent to us.
So that moment that Rhaenyra comes back with some wine.
I think she's going to shoot Ellery a look that's that mother's look of, well, what do you say? It's not like fully chastising, but it's like a
Yeah.
a half glance of this is where it starts.
Just closing off this scene, and that moment, he picks up the goblet of wine that's now on a tray that's been presented to him by Raymar. He looks at you for a second. He looks down at Raymar, then just taller than him by maybe half a foot, and he just says, "Thank you for the wine." And then he looks at you just very briefly again and turns around towards the back of the room.
Squire, please ensure our lord's belt is not too tight. He has much dancing to do tonight. And I'd rather he not step on any toes.
Nice. So I'd like to move to, as you move to the next door to Lady Miria. Susie, how do we find Miria just at this point?
So contrary to how Matsu expects to find Miria like pacing and just rearing to go, Miria is very still. And I think she's just stood looking out of the window. I don't think she even notices.
You'd rather be, Miria?
And she's almost like snapped out of a reverie as she kind of spins on the spot. Oh, my apologies. I was lost in my thoughts.
Well, if I might borrow you from them for a moment.
Of course, what's the matter?
It's an important night. I wanted to have a moment to talk to you before everything happens.
And I think Miriam moves to like sit, and she gestures for Marcia to also sit.
And it's kind of like a mirrored movement as they both sit in these two chairs. I've sent Salastria out from the house. Nearly everyone's arrived, and they're all being well tended to.
Good. Is Braith in his doublet? Not Braith, Bryn.
Bryn.
I know what my brother's called.
I am to make a final check-in on him next, but I am certain that Braith has him well under control. She always does. He was excited when I last asked him, but we shall see what mood comes to the ball tonight.
Mm-hmm.
He's often like a mountain storm, but I think he will do well. Same with Ellery.
Have you spoken to Ellery yet?
Just now.
And how's he feeling?
He appears to be in the same mood as many of those joining us for the tournament.
Good. Are you sure getting them all in one place and getting them drunk is a great idea?
No.
You're ready for this to turn into a brawl?
One. Well, will that be much different from how it has been?
That's a fair point.
I'm hoping that the longing for fun can overcome the longing for violence for just a little while.
I hope so.
And that a little honeyed wine can solve some of the bitterness. At least long enough to talk out some of the issues.
I think Maria like smooths her skirts because she, in her head, she's like, mm-mm. But she doesn't say. She's clearly biting her tongue as she sort of smooths her skirts out.
On which point, I would like you to seek out a few lords tonight. Ensure they are having a good time and lift their spirits should they be turning sour.
Of course, who?
Lord Corgyle, for one, particularly given the problems at Blackmont.
You know full well that he attacked Blackmont and I rode down with our forces to aid Ellery.
I do. And I know full well that he is Dornish. Blackmont is a Dornish house and Ellery is a Reacher.
All right.
If we're to make any peace, make any friends, we have to start somewhere. And we should be the ones to offer a hand, particularly with what we are to announce tonight. This isn't just dependent on Tyrell's support. These are our neighbors. It is tiring to constantly hear that they are all hurting or hurting each other. And it's dangerous for us as well.
I understand.
And if we are to do what needs to be done in regards to certain other lords, foundation must be laid. And I think she looks nervous for the first time and kind of glances around as if the wall's heavy is. There are some names that she won't speak, even here in her own house.
I'm certain we'll find friends with regards to that particular problem.
The more, the merrier, as Enzo would say. And then she'll say it again, but in Valyrian.
That was really good.
I've been practicing.
Enzo will be pleased.
Now, enough of politics, sort of, for a moment. Are you all right, Miria?
And Miri breathes out deeply. Not really, but I will be.
A change of mind?
No. No, I spoke with Simon earlier.
She frowns, runs through a list of people in her head, trying to recall which one Simon is.
The Maester? My brother?
Oh. Yes. Maester Simon.
He had some very interesting things to say. Confirmed some things that I had thought or had hoped to think. But what concerns me more is that he asked me to kill Alistair. He asked me to undermine the Lord John here at this tourney, to help Lord Tarly look impressive.
All the more reason we need to keep an eye on your sister and her companion. It's not news to me that Simon is wont to share knowledge, dangerous knowledge. And if Enzo's relaying of things is to be believed, he is ambitious and manipulative and desperate, which is the most dangerous kind of gossip, Maria. And if he has asked you this, it is very concerning indeed, and most inappropriate.
He was very brazen about it, which makes me wonder if there's a larger scheme at play here, or if it was just his actions alone.
Well, if he is asking you, that means there is no plot in motion to interfere with Alistair and the Black Cells.
No.
We should perhaps speak with John Oakhart, however.
I wanted to speak to the Lord John, anyway. I owe him an apology.
I don't understand the destruction of Oakhart's reputation. Is there not enough damage not been done already?
That's what I thought. Unless this is just Simon's misguided attempt at helping Mora.
Still trying to understand the relationship between Tarly and Oakhart.
I don't understand it either.
But let us keep an eye on them. Although they should not be here tonight. I was fairly specific about their welcome here at Fox Hollow. But the gods will watch over the mountain, and perhaps it will be the gods' problem. For tonight, we have a lot to do. And even more, it would appear, if Simon is to be believed. Where is the Maester now?
I don't know. I left him on the bridge.
With what impression?
Amicable.
It's clever of you.
I'm not quite as foolhardy as I was a few years ago.
And Marcia reaches out to take your hand and gives it a squeeze. Before you enter the ball tonight, make sure you come and find me. There's something I'd like to give you.
Oh?
Something I should have given you a while ago, but now is perhaps the time with the announcement coming. I should go and get changed, though. But Miriam, I'm very proud of you. And I'm glad you've had no change of mind. If you do, you will need to tell me. Preferably sooner rather than later.
I understand.
All right. Enough staring at the mountains. They will still be there tomorrow. Time to get ready.
All right. And then Miriam sort of stands up and like shakes herself out, right? You know, she's trying to get rid of this nervous energy she's got. Do you need a hand with your dress?
I think I'll be able to manage with my lady's maid.
Well, I'll see you before the ball.
Yes, and should your brother come running down the hall, please send him back in my direction.
Oh, I know how to deal with Bryn.
No hide and seek tonight, Maria.
Okay. And she's acting really put out, you know, the big like, ugh.
Tomorrow you can enjoy all of the sport of the tourney.
Yes. And there's like definitely like she laughs a little too hard.
I think Marcia's eyes narrow very briefly at the response, but she's distracted by the thoughts of things that she needs to go and take care of. They would be very proud too, Maria.
And she's straight back at the freaking window because poof, she'd managed to not forget it for a second. Till the ball then?
Yes, but if you need me, then send for me.
I will.
Good. And she'll rise and go to the door. Having a feeling Maria will be ready within the last 5 possible minutes before having to enter, given the mood. But it's okay.
Wow.
I think it would be that point that Enzo would be heading up to you. He's been summoned, and a servant has grabbed you and has brought you up here to Lady Marcia.
Enzo. I cannot hear you. Your voice appears to have been taken.
There we go. That should work now.
A little wine for your throat, perhaps.
Indeed, I needed a drink. It is good to see you, my lady. You are looking radiant tonight.
Thank you. I am on my way to change into the dress. And other packages have arrived for various things. I told them to leave them in the solar for you to review. Not sure what's in them.
Oh.
Things that have not arrived, however, and she's now walking down the corridor, would be the Baratheons.
Oh. I'm not sure what we can do about that.
We have
maybe
no Stormland champion, Enzo.
Is that a problem?
It is. When we announced we would have a champion from each of the southern kingdoms, in addition to mine and Miria's personal champions. They're expecting 5, and we have 4. And it's not a particularly good reflection.
Right. Oh, of course. Well, he's kind of like going through the list in his, the list of guests in his head. Do you have any ideas who you wish to have? Could you not have 4? What is wrong with 4 champions? We
announced 5. We had 5 swords made.
Oh.
The dance is choreographed for 5.
Right. Do you have any idea on who you wish to ask for this?
Well, it can't be a Reacher. We already have 2.
Okay, so that leaves us with just one other option. It would have to be Dornish.
But which?
Ah, I think you know the
It would
Dornish
be-
more than me.
It would be better if it were someone from another kingdom, any other kingdom. The Westerlands, the Crownlands, the Riverlands. Has anyone come south? It's a big tournament. Surely there is a knight that wants to make a name. Best all of the southern kingdoms.
Is there, Sam? I wouldn't know. On this list, I'm not entirely sure where everything is.
Whoever it is, we need to find them tonight and convince them to do us the great honor and move past the fact the Baratheons have not arrived.
The people on your list, Tom, are key people. So you have people who, in some way or another, are either associated, like they're retainers of a house, or they are relatives, either young or distant, of the Stormlander houses. You can find anybody, basically.
Okay.
Lord and or Lady Baratheon might not be here, but probably a few of their bannermen are. And so, but you know, to find out kind of who's here and who is a potential, it's going to be a streetwise check, and it's going to involve some time taken as well.
Of course, I will inquire around the ball, but see who we can find. I'm sure it wouldn't take too much to persuade.
You know everyone, Enzo. I'm sure we can find someone. And you are set with the arrangements for tonight. And her eyes kind of go up to the ceiling and then back down to you.
Oh, of course. I'm just waiting for the perfect moment.
Good. And the house guard are set?
Yes, the house guard are where they are supposed to be.
And you've told them everyone's to have a good time, no brawls?
I mean, I have told them, but whether or not people will listen, I mean, when drink comes and you put people in the room that don't really like each other, you know, a fist or two will be exchanged. It's normal. It's good for them. It's good for them. Don't worry.
And so it is not good for the people in this hall. Particularly tonight. Tomorrow they can throw fists and swords and lances at each other all they wish.
I mean, I've told the guards, but there is only so much they can do.
That's why we come in. We are the rest of the way.
I will do my best to ensure that no one punches someone else.
If they do your Enzo thing where you intercept and flourish and tell a story. I've seen you do it at court.
I will try. It is a little different, but...
You remember in King's Landing how the gentleman was staring down Lady Dorsey's dress, and you could see her brother in the corner, and you interceded.
I mean, yes, of course. But that was slightly different. This is slightly more...
fraught.
Busier and...
dangerous.
And this has got a lot more alcohol than that. But like you said, I will do I will scan the room and see what I can do. Yeah.
Good.
I mean, if all else fails and someone gets a bit too rowdy, you can just get the guards to take them out.
Yes.
Throw them into the horse trough or something.
Divert them into a quieter room. Exactly, Enzo. Exactly.
Yes, that is close to what I was going with. Yes. Yeah. But the most important thing is, my lady, is that you should enjoy yourself. This is a ball. This is a time of party. This is where you should have fun.
Yes.
Not stressing. Hey. Once you get to the ball, everything will be fine. It will go as you planned, and we shall have a dance.
Are you sure?
I am positive. Like I said,
Right.
confidence.
Yes.
You are the lady of the house. This is your house.
And isn't it a nice castle? Is the kind of expression on her face. She just looks terrified.
I will get you some wine for when you come in.
A little
Is-
food, perhaps.
Of course. Is there anything else you require of me?
No, I think that is rather enough for now. Ellery is in a bad temper, however. Nerves, I think. If you
Mhm.
could encourage him towards a better feeling, that might be useful.
Of course, I've never really talked to Ellery, but I'm sure that I'll be able to make him have fun, relax.
Not too relaxed.
Okay, I'm not entirely.
Eyes will be upon him tonight.
Okay,
We need no slips.
what is expected of him apart from the
To be a
obvious?
good young lord who
Oh,
is not
yes.
starting wars.
I
Preferably.
think I can do that.
Nightly. Dancing. And she started drifting off down the corridor as a list begins to just reel in her head of things she needs to check on.
Ed's just gonna watch her head off. She really needs a drink.
Oh, Enzo, I really like your hat, by the way.
Oh, thank you. He'll big smile. He'll turn and start heading off back into the main hall area where everything is going, and he is gonna search for that Stormlander person who could be the 5th champion.
All right. Is there anything else you need to prep, Charlie, in terms of Marcia's evening before she begins?
I think she would check in with essentially the head of the Hollowed Hearts just to make sure they really have been briefed on the behavior expected of them. And that we have some of our men stationed down at the camps to make sure that should anyone leave and decide to go cause trouble, that Dornish and Reacher men are not returning to find their camps on fire. Things like that.
Cool.
It's kind of like first day of the festival, everyone is being briefed on health and safety, and general behavior expected of the stewards.
Yeah. The head of the guard listens to you politely, but this has probably been his 3rd briefing in 3 days. So he, is more than happy to make sure that there's no little battles of ego or any fisticuffs.
And I think the final instruction directly to him is that he is to carefully watch the young Lord Greenmont tonight.
Yeah, for sure.
Mama Marzia is like, nothing happens to my baby tonight. I've got 1,000,001 things to do. But if anything happens to Bryn, that's it. It's game over.
Yeah. For sure. So I need to know a little bit about what the plan of attack is, or what's the ceremony, what's the order of stuff.
We met Miria outside briefly when she was already in her dress and everything. I think that she and Marzia are due to kind of meet in that, we described it as the gentleman's salon. You know, that space. They're going to meet there and come into the hall from there together as like part of the opening. And they're going to make an announcement and basically open the tournament and welcome everyone. Be like, get your drink, get on with the dancing. That's the kind of idea. And then it's a night of dancing with food and wine, culminating in the champions dance at the end of the night, where the 5 champions and their 5 chosen dance partners do a little dance, present themselves, and then it's everyone back down the mountain who's going down the mountain, and then anyone who's staying at the keep stays at the keep, kind of thing. I think most people would be kind of accommodated at the keep, but maybe if there is some like lesser nobility, like banner houses and stuff, they would be kind of not in the main keep itself.
I'll 100% call it on how important they are.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, totally.
That's pretty much how it's assigned.
For sure. All right. So you might be able to help me with how Mara and Samuel find the keep as they approach. We had a description the last session of just how kind of much larger and kind of the architecture almost looks as if it's coming out of the mountain itself from the outer structure, and these tall towers that have been also now been built into the keep. But what kind of regalia, what kind of... Oh my god, a massive donation, thank you so much. I make it rain bonus dice. Okay, sure.
Well, that's an instruction.
Yeah. I don't know.
Thanks so much, friend.
Yeah.
I can't see the donation, but thank you.
It's like 50 odd quid.
Oof.
Yeah. I'm just gonna put some bonus dice up here. Good tool.
Cheeky interruption really quickly,
Yeah.
because I am seeing Tweeter of Vecna is in chat, and I do want to shout out the Dark Matter Kickstarter that's on right now that was launched yesterday and is doing very well.
Yeah.
Because Don and I did some work on it, so it is kind of related to us. So
There you
it's kinda
go.
Cool. And it's for the Dark Matter starter kit box set, so that's super cool.
Yeah, I can't wait to
Shout
see
out
it.
to them over there, Major
Yeah.
Press.
Yeah, thank you so much. Cool. I guess it's my turn with the RPG Fiver now. As I've pledged on your thing, you've given us some dosh. Nice. Okay, cool. Thank you so much.
But returning to Fox Hollow Keep, what I imagine is we brought
Yeah.
them in through that perimeter wall, the great big gate
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of there, and into the interior where there's kind of, stables off to one side, castle type setup, and then the actual keep itself
Yeah.
in the heart protruding from the mountain. And I think this area has been lit with a lot of candles to make it kind of have a magical effect to it, almost as the sun is going down fairly early now that we're approaching autumn, or in autumn. I forget exactly where we are in the year.
Yeah.
And everyone's been kind of encouraged to gather. It's still, not too cold here in the Red Mountains, so it's a nice night. And then the great doors to the keep itself would be opened, and everyone would be invited into the hall to get in and get to the more nibbles and food that we have.
Yeah. So as you've gone through that gate, that large gate towards Fox Hollow Hamlet, there is a crowd already, and this massive throng of people as you go through. A lot of them just here to try and mingle, to try and see inside a little bit, as lords and ladies like yourself start walking up through a little natural promenade through the crowd in the center. The big main doors to the keep on this side of the castle have not yet been opened, and will ceremoniously be done so in a few moments. Here you can see a mix of the different lords and ladies that are present from the Reach, from the Stormlands, and also from Dawn. And also several scores of knights who have arrived to try and make their name at the tournament, but also just try and kind of hang out with the cool kids tonight. It's like, this is the place to be. So everyone's done up as best they can, whilst others are really outshining other people. There's a lot of Dornish silks here, a lot of beautiful clothing with rich dyes that have been blended to form like these beautiful gradients. And also some big shoulders going on. Again, a Dornish fashion that is still at its height. And everyone's wearing, obviously it's still nicely quite a cool night, but it's still been quite warm, just as autumn summer has turned into autumn. But the two of you are together. Simon is kind of following behind, I would imagine.
This is where we would have encountered Enzo, right? When they had that conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Because I think after that, their plan was to avoid kind of entering with everybody when you have that moment of like all eyes are on everybody stepping through the doors, and to head off to the Weirwood Grove and show back up once some of the festivities had started and they could kind of slip in. I think was the plan anyway.
To the Weirwood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Sam too, though they're waiting to head in, there's this sort of energy. He's very tall. He's probably taller than most of the knights. And he's not conspicuous, the way that he's dressed, he's got a golden mask, a bear mask from nose up, this fancy hat. He's got a golden hilted, like ornate sword at his hip. for show, and he's got like a half cape. Like he's done up and he's tall, and his eyes and his face, like he's beaming, he's smiling as he's looking around all these knights. He's very excited about the energy here in this place with all of these people gathered. So even though he lingers, like I feel like it's that thing where like his body feels a little pulled forward towards the door before it opens. He can't help it.
Okay, nice. I think I would like to head to the Godswood. I think there's some nice stuff there. And obviously we're not going to meet Simon there. That was a separate time that he went.
Yeah, he went off before Mara and Samuel.
As you enter, you are struck by the memory of a dream. And strangely, a kind of deja vu washes over you as you also are reminded of the day of Bryn and Willen's birth. The night was much cooler, but I can't keep up with all these donations. This is silly. 2 test dice, somebody. I will get there, friends. I'm sorry. There's so many now. Let me just get to Streamlabs very quickly. Okay. And looking back at you, the weirwood tree is screaming in a horror that it recognizes you here once more, and exchanging a look with it. It's like the thought strikes you, it knows what it's done.
I think Mara is quiet as she leads Samuel up here, because he's never seen the Godswood here. And I think she kind of steps into the area that makes up the grove and just kind of pauses and looks around, because it's the first time that she's laid eyes on it in years. And she has all of these memories, and some of them terrible, terrible memories, but also the birth of her brothers. For a minute, she sees, the image of her father when he'd bring her up here as a child. And she looks over and she can see the graves of Lucas and Oliver.
And now distinctly there are 2. The second of Sir Oliver.
And I think, she's probably taken Samuel's arm to get up here. I imagine there are some steps which are not easy to navigate in a ball gown.
Yeah, and it's a little narrow, secretive path, because this was kept away from other people for a very long time. So yeah, it is a little innavigable.
And I think she just kind of looks at Samuel to see what his expression is, because she knows that the trees make him uncomfortable. He was not brought up around weirwood groves like she was, so.
And Sam, you are startled just a second of the squawk of a crow, a raven high up in the weirwood, mixed in with the red of the leaves, and then this black silhouette on the setting sun sky arcs over you.
I think Sam has gone along with Mara to accompany her there, and if he was feeling uncomfortable on the walk over, he didn't show it, but when they get to the edge of the grove, I think maybe he held back for a moment. And there's an audible, like high-pitched sound that does not sound like him that comes out of his mouth when that crow squawks, and he fumbles for his mask, that like upper half of the face golden bear mask, and he takes it off, and he sort of holds it at his gut, and he's just sort of wringing it in his hands, and a little wide-eyed, his face is going around, looking to the trees, to the foliage, not to the graves.
Mara notices this discomfort and hears this little high-pitched squeak that comes out of him. And I think she just kind of loops her arm in his, as if to almost be like, it's okay. You don't have to be afraid here. It's only the dead and the trees.
Sure, nothing to be afraid of there. And he's staring pointedly at the tree face.
Staring back at you in an angry cry, a war cry that you could swear a light breeze, leaves its mouth towards you.
You know, my grandmother, she used to speak of your weirwood trees. She said that their expressions changed. Is that true?
Something like that. I don't know if the expression ever really changes or if we just see them differently. But it's hard to be afraid of something that you grew up with. What I see in the trees might be different from what you see, but you don't have to fear them.
And he looks down to the mask in his hands, and then he looks over and down to Mara at his side, and he says, I don't think I'm meant to be here, Mara.
I think you are exactly where you're meant to be, Samuel. And I think at this point, she just kind of leads him gently over to the grave of her father. And I think she detaches herself from his arm and kind of lowers herself down so she can put her hand on top of the grave mound.
It's like I can imagine it is overgrown so much more now than you remember it being when you returned to Fox Hollow before a few years ago, where patches of grass had maybe started. Whereas this now is a mound that if you didn't really know it was there, you would take a moment to discover. Charlie, is there a marking here? Is there a thing left here? I can't remember.
I think there might be like a chunk of rock from the mountain type thing, but there's no like headstone or any super elaborate marker.
This is kind of improvised headstone in red rock at the top, at the head of this mound before you, and that's what you see, Samuel. You see a mound that just takes you a moment, but then slowly you recognize as kind of human dimensioned. And with this rock here, it then clicks a headstone.
I think Mara she's running her hand through the kind of the grass and the foliage here that's begun to grow and just kind of whispers, "Hello, Father." And I think she looks up at Samuel. "This is my father's grave."
He gives a weak smile and says, I remember him. I remember when he came to Horn Hill for the first time. I'm sorry, Mara.
It's okay. He was not always the best of fathers. I was very lucky. But Miria, Simon, they didn't get much from him. He didn't know how to show them he cared. If he hadn't died on the way to my wedding, perhaps some of the mess that's happened over the last few years would have been avoided. But I think she just she stands up and there's no anger. There's not even really upset. I think she's just glad that she gets to see this again, because for a long while she didn't know if she'd ever be able to come back here. And I think she takes a kind of lingering look and then moves on to the next grave mound, the one that probably looks, by comparison, a lot newer and fresher and less overgrown.
Not so newer, as they're probably only a few months apart. and I can't remember again if this one, maybe Don, you remember, or Charlie, that we left something of Sir Oliver's here, I think, did we?
It was his armor.
He was buried in his armor.
Yes.
Okay. So again, there is a similar mound. There is, I don't think then particularly a kind of headstone-looking rock or stone here, but there is a slightly overgrown mound. And once you look at that, it's what distinguishes this from natural, a natural landscaping. This is two clear things that have been put here.
And she knows the Weirwood Grove as well. She knows that these were not features that have always been here. And I think without even there being a headstone, I don't think she even has to question whose grave this is. I think she would know that Marcia would have had Oliver buried here alongside her father. I think she looks back at Samuel. This is Oliver's grave. I'm glad they buried him here. He stood beside my father so much of his life. It seems only right that he does so now.
There's no marker.
Well, normally bodies aren't buried. My mother's wasn't. But it seems fitting that they're here. It's the only place he could be. I think she looks upon it sadly. This is where she gets a little bit sad.
I think Sam looks away from it. He tries not to make contact, but his eyes drift back to that tree. And when he sees that expression, that battle cry in the tree, he looks back to the grave instead. Tomorrow.
I don't know what he'd think if he were still here now. I don't know if he'd forgive me for what Alistair did. He was always a fair man. He was always kind. And I think she just leaves it on that. She doesn't really know what else to say because this has been done for so long for her now. It's the weight of his death is something that she has always had in the back of her mind. And I think that seeing the grave kind of finally puts that to rest for her a bit, knowing that he is here beside her father. And I think this is when she turns to the tree that's got a face that says it knows what it did.
As you turn back to the tree, it's not the tree's face that alarms you, but the length of a midnight blue and black striped cat, a big cat, climbing down from the rock face of this kind of little grove within the mountain. And it gives you not a full snarl, but a little kind of growl as it little just steps forward and then sits, and as cats are tend to do, stares at you.
Is this Salistria?
You would think so. You've been away from Fox Hollow for a while now, that and you didn't grow up with her necessarily, that you would assume so.
But I mean, like, judging from the size of the cat and stuff like that, she could have safely assumed.
Yeah.
I think Mara's never been necessarily afraid of Salistria. She's always been cautious of her, knowing that, Marcia has some influence over her, but, Mara has never attempted to kind of be friendly with Salistria in that sense. She's always just allowed the cat to do its thing. And I think she just stands for a moment and stares at it. And something compels her just to speak to the creature. I'm not here to do any harm. just came here to see. And she almost gestures as if she's talking to this cat and looks over at the graves. And to say some things before the gods that have to be said. And she's talking to the cat as if it can understand her. She doesn't know if it can. And I think she just kind of turns back from it when she's done. Like, there is a part of her that trusts that if this is Salastraya, this cat won't harm her. It didn't harm her before. And that Salastraya has as much right to be prowling around these parts as, she does.
I would like you to roll for me a animal handling charm test, please.
Can Sam assist in this?
Yeah, what are you doing to do that?
I don't think Sam's had a lot of hands-on experience specifically with Shadowcats. But he did grow up and was friends with a Colonel Master, and he's been around beasts his entire life, especially hunting beasts. And if the cat were to get aggressive, he knows like the tone of voice, the kind of grunt that he can do that might at least ward it off or calm it down. So he's just ready just in case.
Nice. What's your just trying to think. Yeah, what's your animal handling?
4.
So I give you a +2 to your test result.
11.
Okay. As you, I imagine, take a step or two forward, the cat moves a little with you just to judge what's going on. And again, in the way that cats do, they'll move a little bit and then stop completely again, and then as you're kind of moving slowly, it doesn't move, and then as you stop for a second, that allows it pause to just kind of look at you again. And it starts to approach you. And it comes up, and for a moment you wonder where it's going to go. It moves to the right-hand side of you as Sam was just on your left, so away from Samwell. And then it comes closer to you, but then heads to your hip, and then of course to your hand, where it brushes past you, and depending on what you want to do, will go towards the graves to sit.
I think Mara's seeing this. She knows for sure now this is Salastraya. This cat recognizes her, and it's very rare that she's ever been close enough to, and had the affection from the cat when Marcia hasn't been around. But I think she takes the opportunity to, to stroke the animal, and it's almost like she's greeting an old friend. And I think she looks up at Samwell, who I imagine looks pretty confused at this shadow cat that's now acting like a house cat, booping its head up against her hand. And I think she just says, Salastraya, Marcia's shadow cat. I imagine that she has been sent away from the halls for the night to avoid scaring any of the lords. And I think she just lets the cat go and rest wherever it rests. She's not gonna, bother it too much.
It lies in between the two graves, perching its head at the feet of the mound of Sir Oliver, just in the way that the little dip that those two create is the perfect little bedding nuzzle spot for her. Yeah, and she does that little kind of cat on the edge of Sir Oliver's grave.
I think Mara looks back at Sam. You don't have to be afraid. If she was going to hurt one of us, she would have done it by now.
I'm not afraid of Salastraya, Mara.
I think she looks at the tree as almost as if to ask if that's what's still bothering him.
He recognizes that question unspoken, And he gives a little shake of his head.
And I think at that point she kind of realizes it's his grave, isn't it?
I don't feel like I deserve to stand here and look at it.
You weren't the one who ran him through with a sword. You weren't the one who came up with the ridiculous notion to do what happened. Besides,
But I am
the man that's lying in that grave, he cared about me. He was like a second father or an uncle. He was family. And I think that while if he were here now, he might have some things to say about what happened. You've looked after me. You brought back my brother when I thought he was dead. You stopped me wasting away at Old Oak. You've made me happy. I feel like that would earn at least a little forgiveness from him. He was not a cruel man.
He nods a little bit. And then he turns and steps towards the grave from the side, so he's not sneaking up on the cat that's perched right there.
I think Mara would keep an eye on the cat in this kind of weird hope that by acknowledging what Samuel moving, the cat too will realize that there isn't a threat here.
She lifts her head up to sit up a bit more like a sphinx, and she looks at you, Samuel, as you move.
He gives her just a small part of the lips, like a tiny, tiny smile, and holds out a hand, a gloved hand, just a gesture that he's moving slowly. He means no harm. And he goes to kneel down right next to the grave. I stone the cat for a moment just to make sure that she isn't going to try to, like, rip out his throat or anything like that.
Eat you. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
I would like you to roll for me, please, animal handling charm.
Charm.
And bear in mind, everyone has a gazillion bonus dice and some test dice as well, thanks to all of the lovely people in chat.
Is Mara able to lend him any aid here, as she's also watching the cat?
Yeah. What's your animal handling rank?
3.
Okay, so you can lend +1 to the test result.
Okay. Yeah, and I think as he locks eyes with the cat, he smiles a little bit more and he hums in the back of his throat, just this gentle sound. It's almost musical. And pulls back his hand as he kneels down. 19.
Oh, very nice. She goes to kind of sniff your hand, and then actually stands and just begins to walk away and does a little lap of the weirwood tree itself.
Yeah, once she starts to trot off, Sam clears his throat and it looks down, probably sweating a little bit now. He's this close to the grass, and slowly fiddles with his like ornamental belt at his side, and struggling for the words to say for a minute. He finally takes a breath, and just a few words. He says, "I won't insult you or your memory with an apology, my lord. I know my father cared for you. And I know this realm suffers for your loss. And I promise that House Tarly will continue to care for this realm and for those you called family. I will do better. And he unbuckles his hilt of his sword. His throat kind of catches, and he lays his like very fancy House Tarly golden hilted sword down, not on the grave, but at the grave's side, and then stands up and stretches and kind of pulls down his vest, takes a breath, and gives Mara a little smile and walks back.
I think she smiles back at him. I don't think she says anything about the exchange that she's just seen. There's a kind of a knowing look. And I think this is where Samuel starts to see her get nervous. She's playing with her fingers, much like she was when they spoke earlier on in the afternoon. And she kind of looks at the tree and looks back at Sam. You know how important things are to me in front of these trees.
Yes.
I meant what I said earlier. I don't want to go back to Old Oak. I don't want to go back to him. But I don't know if you meant it. And she's visibly nervous. Like, this is not a thing that you see from Mara very often, in that, you know, she normally stands quite tall with her shoulders back. She's almost kind of like hunched in herself in worry, kind of wringing her hands a little bit and kind of almost barely able to look Samuel in the eye.
I think this is a moment, like this situation kind of pulls Sam out of the fact that like there's this weirwood tree. This is very, very strange. So he actually like visibly relaxes and cracks a little bit of a smile. His shoulders slump and he just puts out an arm to kind of take Mara by the shoulder. And he said, "You don't have to go back. I meant what I said."
Really? And you can see that you can see it's like the thing of like she really wants to believe it, and standing here in front of this tree, this matters to her saying this.
Of course. You don't have to suffer. You don't have to live a life that you don't want.
I want a life with you.
Then we'll make it happen.
I don't know how we're going to do it.
Oh, some difficult discussions, perhaps.
Perhaps. Maybe more than a few bags of gold by the end of it.
Well, I can supply that, I think.
One day your father is going to question where all the money is going.
Oh, he's not getting any sharper the older he's getting.
And, you know, she's smiling now and she's happy. And I think she kind of looks at the tree and you can see her thinking about something. She's got that face on that says there's something that she wants to say, but she's not sure if she wants to say it. I think she looks at Samwell with this almost strange confidence in comparison to her nervousness just a few moments ago. You know, I wanted to be married in the Weirwood Grove here. Lord John wouldn't have it. This isn't the bloody north, he said. We get married in septs down here in the south. I was so disappointed. I had Simon look up all of the rites for the old gods. But Lord John wanted a septum. He said it didn't sound right that the old gods had no priests and preachers. We always talk about breaking the rules. And it's going to be difficult getting anybody to support the two of us. But as far as I'm concerned, in the eyes of the old gods at least, my marriage to Alistair is over. They made their judgment. I can see it in the face of the weirwood that they know they made their judgments. And maybe it wouldn't mean anything to anybody except us, but if we want to do this, if we want something that nobody else can take away, I still know the vows. We could say them here, now.
Surely, Mara, there's some legal position on all of this.
Of course there is. But that's not why it matters. We can fight for the legality and the paperwork and dealing with the judgment of the faith. But we could do this for us. There's war coming, and more fighting than I hoped that I would see again. When you went off to Dawn, I didn't know if you were going to come back. And then I didn't know if I'd ever actually tell you that I loved you, and if it happens again, people might not look upon it as anything legal, but it could still be useful if we find allies. It would make us seem serious about what we want, but more importantly, we would know. The gods would know. And frankly, us knowing is all I care about right now while everything is going on.
Samwell listens. You can tell that he's visibly anxious. His shoulders have pulled back up a little bit, and he's watching Mara. She speaks. And then he turns and looks back to the two graves, to the sword that's lying beside Oliver's grave, and then back to that tree. And there's another sort of catch in the back of his throat. And then he smiles and he turns to Mara and he says, "So what do I say?"
And I think she just has... I'm sorry, I'm dying at the look of everybody. I'm sorry, Charlie, please don't murder me. I think what she does, she's been carrying the kind of heavy like traveling cloak that she wore over her dress just to protect it from, you know, the mud and the grit. And I think she kind of lays that down at the floor, and she undoes the deerskin cape that you'd bought for her and takes it off and kind of hands it to you. And the idea of a cloak in a wedding ceremony is probably something everybody is familiar with.
Oh, good. Yeah, so he holds it in the right way.
She kind of looks at him and says, just repeat what I say and you'll figure it out. It's fairly simple. You need to ask me who comes before the gods this night.
He kind of like straightens up and tries to look as confident as he can, though it's not in his eyes, but in his posture at least. And he holds the cloak the way that he thinks is right. And he asks, Who comes before the gods tonight?
Mara of House. And she kind of stops for a minute as she tries to figure out what to say. And I think she looks over at her father's grave and Oliver's grave and smiles. Mara of the House Greenmont, I come here to be wed. A woman grown, true-born and noble, I come to beg the blessings of the gods. By their own judgments, they consider my marriage to Alistair Oakhart dissolved and will bless this union tonight. Who comes to claim me? And she kind of looks at him as if to prompt that, you know, to do a similar thing.
He looks around for the shadow cat, which is probably wandered off right at this point.
The shadow
he
cat
just
is
sort of-
halfway up the weirwood tree now.
It's climbed up the tree. Is it watching?
Yeah. Lounging across a couple of branches, and it's watching, looking down on you. As if the old gods were watching themselves.
Yeah, I think Sam, like he can't, like every couple of moments, like he just feels pulled back to that expression and to the trees and the bows around, feeling judged. And then he just sort of follows the instructions and sort of follows Mara's lead. He doesn't know the werewood rituals or anything like that. He doesn't know the religion at all. It's all kind of just like to him, it's almost like witchcraft. It's like superstitious.
She'll prompt him to give his name and his house, and that you come to claim her, basically.
And he gives his name, Samwell of House Tarley, looking at the tree, and says, "I come to claim you, Mara of House." And then he kind of struggles with that as well for a moment.
I think she just kind of smiles as if to say, you know, let's not get into that. Now you have to ask who gives me. And you can see she looks a little bit sad at this because the grave of her father is 6 feet from her.
Who gives you?
In the absence of my father, and she kind of looks over the grave, Lucas of House Greenmont, I give myself freely and willingly. Now, the best bit about all old god weddings. You just have to ask if I take this man.
Do you?
I take this man. And I think she reaches for his hand in that moment.
And you say it together beautifully.
And then she kind of looks at the cloak that's in his other hand as if to indicate that's the final bit.
Oh, yes. And then at least that part's sort of familiar to him and other traditions. And so he goes and he puts the cloak back on.
And I think she waits for him to step back round and puts her arms around him and embraces him.
Friends, are you willing to each spend a destiny point?
For what? For what purpose?
Marriage vows.
Oh no.
Wait,
When
spend or
speaking-
burn?
Spend, not burn. When speaking their
Okay.
vows, a couple may spend, not burn, 1 point of destiny. For the next year, until their first anniversary, they gain a +1 bonus dice on all actions they take to strengthen their personal union. This might be to defend their beloved physically from danger, to engage in intrigues to resist seductions or attempts to convince them to take actions to betray or harm their loved ones, or even in endurance tests to survive difficult pregnancies or sicknesses.
I mean, I'd be happy to spend one.
This is like the
Yeah, if
end
it's
of
spending on burning.
this is like the end of first dates when they sit the couple together at the end and they're like, "Would you like a second date?" And they're like, "You go first." Yeah.
This is spending, not burning, right?
Spending,
This is
not
spending,
burning.
yeah.
Spending, you get it
I mean,
back
that
once
seems-
you've completed a short-term objective.
Yeah, that sounds like a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
It's a keep dice.
No, it's a bonus dice.
Okay.
Jonathan
That's still
Fry.
a pretty good deal.
I can see Don doing the maths in his head. I can see him
Spend
min-maxing
bonus
this.
dice.
It's still a good deal. I'll take it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Spend a destiny point.
For the next year until your first anniversary, gain +1 bonus dice to strengthen your personal union.
I already had this with Alistair, so I just have to change the name on my character sheet.
That's just fucking rub it in. God.
Seriously,
He's
yikes.
in a jail cell.
He made his choice.
It's true. He did.
Somewhere in a black cell, a lone man screams.
Sirens in the distance.
Who made the choice with him? I'm going away now. Goodbye.
But yeah, and I think Mara gives in to something she's wanted to do for a long time and embraces Samwell and kisses him. And is just happy. Truly feeling happy for the first time in a very long time.
Yeah, I like to imagine that he embraces too, but like his eyes can't leave the tree behind her.
The tree, as you look at it now, is sobbing like a grandmother at a wedding. It's open-mouthed wailing, and red, sappy tears are running down its trunk. And the moment there is broken by, just in the distance, a trumpet and a cheer and the sound of those grand doors opening for the first time this evening to invite people inside the keep, and a herald proclaims as much. And you folks take your time and work your way inside. Inside is lavishly decorated. I believe Tom Enzo insisted on some silks were down by in the thing, but up here too.
I think it's like blue forget-me-not colored silk, and it's probably where it meets in the middle of great awnings will be tied in that 5-petal shape.
Yeah,
to kind of be symbolic of the flower.
Nice. Yeah, it's got that bluey purpley kind of I'll get the Pantone out later. Kind of color for the forget-me-nots, and that's draped all around. There's buffet tables laid out with some beautiful autumnal foods as the last of the summer wine next to Dornish reds, Arbor golds and reds as well adorn the tables. There are barrels of beer as well as some milk as well for the kids. Blood oranges on trays, as well as a mix of nuts, are on trays that are walked around by servants, as well as some dried figs, raisins, but there are some fresh grapes too, as well as a mix of autumnal berries laid about platters with kind of biscuits and cakes. Some cuts of sweet meats are then also inside tiny pies that get walked around, including partridge and some goose, chicken, and capon as well. Some fish from the bay, and also kind of like downriver are here, as well as a little bit of lobster and some mussels from the southern coast. And then some compots of honeycomb and sorbets, berries will accompany all that stuff, and some beautiful cheeses of the Seven Kingdoms have been brought here too. And then as you walk down the table, mixed in are some Dornish delicacies, including some snake. There was some others as well. There's specific Dornish plums as well have been pickled at one end. And even some plum wine is present as well. So there is an array of food and drink here for everyone, as well as minstrels. There's been a minstrel's gallery kind of fashioned on one of the balconies that now Mara is present in this, what was, kind of fairly tall hall still, but maybe kind of a story and a half, is now a grand 2.5, maybe 3 stories. And there is a balcony and some elaborate windows that bring in the sunset light from the evening. The minstrels themselves are just playing some incidental tunes, Fair Maids of Summer, and then the Maids That Bloom in Spring, just to start things off as people mingle and talk. From, Charlie, we've got to have a sweeping staircase in this place, right? Like, 2 sides come down into the middle from one side, and then the dais being at the end, and the main doors being at the other end that go onto the road. There is this grand staircase that both Marcia and Miria descend. I know you have dresses prepared. Would you please describe to us what our guests see as you descend the staircase?
So they see the doors open, and then they don't see anyone appear as quickly as they would think, because Marcia has turned to look at Miria, and her eyes are locked on the necklace that Miria has around her neck. I should have given this to you before. And in her hand, she has clasped the original locket that Miria had given to Oliver, that she'd retrieved from amongst Oliver's things. And she opens the hand and looks down at it and looks back to the Vulture Queen version that Miria is currently wearing.
I think a second as she sees Marcia like toy with her hands, Miria is like, what is that?
And in Marcia's hand is a pendant on a small silver chain. It's simple but heart-shaped and silver. Its face is painted with green, gold, white, and black heraldry of House Greenmont. It was amongst Oliver's things. I didn't really realize what it was until not so long ago, and then I wanted to give it to you when it was important. It's yours, isn't it?
I thought it was lost.
Well, it's all here. Pictures are still inside.
Here's like pictures.
She'll hold it out. She's looking a little sheepish and embarrassed.
Mm-hmm.
When she found it, she hadn't really realized what it was. Just another like Greenmont trinket. We have lots of those around the castle.
And Miria, like, she almost snatches it from Marcia's hands, because this necklace means everything to her. It was the last conversation she had with Oliver before he died, right? She gave it to him and said, look, I want it back. Get your ass back here. And so she's like holding it, and she kind of holds it to her chest for a moment before she pops it open and looks inside.
On the left side of the open pendant, there is a small but surprisingly detailed sketch of Miria from the shoulders up, younger, as if she was 5 years old. Miria is depicted with a confident smile and determination in her eyes. Her illustration is unpainted, but the background space around her has been painted a sand yellow that slowly blends into perfect black. The paint seems to have faded a little in the last 5 years. The right side of the open pendant houses a similar sketch of Lord Oliver Ironwood, adorned in a mahogany shawani. His eyes are gentle, and he bears an unspoken measure of pride in the illustration. Like Miria, the depiction of Oliver has not been painted, but for a yellow and black background. The small parchment depicting Lord Oliver is a little loose in the frame, threatening to slip away. Thanks, Don.
So Miria does that thing where she starts to cry, but then she realizes she's wearing makeup and she's like, fuck, I can't cry. And so she's trying to like dab, like trying not to ruin her makeup as she does it. And she looks up at Marzia and says, "This means more to me than you'll ever know. Thank you."
There is a slight murmur from downstairs as you hear people start to gossip.
Marzia quickly clutches your hand, gives you a squeeze and a smile. Tonight is the start of it all, Miria. Beginning of being a bride.
I think we need to talk later, but we should probably get in there.
All right. And she'll hold her hand out so to indicate that Miria should go to like one side of the stairs and Marcia's going to go down the other so they can descend in tandem dramatically.
Mm-hmm.
The two ladies of Greenmont.
Yeah.
Susie, do you want to do your dress?
Yeah, so Miria pulls herself together. She shoulders back, makes sure she hasn't smudged her makeup. And she's wearing, like we saw her on the bridge, the dark black dress made of silks and taffeta that's cinched in at the waist with a simple golden belt, the golden forget-me-nots embroidered up the skirt, so almost like kicking away as she walks. And it's a deep sort of scoop neck that she's got going on. And her shoulders is the cape sleeve, split at the shoulder, that's embroidered with feathers. So as she walks, it drifts out behind her like a big set of wings.
All right, on the left staircase.
Marcia's skirt is a cascade of light silks, which give a gauzy effect, and they are ombre, darkest at the bottom to lightest at her waist, in the colors of the Red Mountains. At her waist is a golden band, and there are cutouts on either side, accentuating her slender frame. The bodice of her dress is a pale color covered in the red leaves of the weirwood tree. The sleeves are similar to the skirt in that they are a gauzy fabric. And they are bound at the wrists in the same gold as at her waist.
Nice. Is she wearing any adornment on her head? So as the kind of lady of the house, has she done something like that, do you think? Or is she...
Her hair is actually fairly simple. It's just been kind of braided up and pinned. I think there are a number of smaller jewels maybe just kind of pinned into it to catch the light. But for today, Enzo did not win his way of her wearing a giant hat, although it was discussed. The biggest piece of jewelry is actually around her neck, and it's a red and black set of jewels on silver.
Nice. And there is a light applause as you descend the two staircases. A little out of rhythm as Miria tries to keep in time with Marcia's slight clumsiness as she heads down them. You meet in the center where the stairs turn down towards the actual center of the hall, and then you walk down them where I think Enzo would be probably at the foot to greet you. And you see a mix of faces, most notably towards the front of the crowd, Lord Leo Tyrell, and kind of entourage hanging around him. As well as picking out the faces of a couple of people that you've spoken to already, including Lord Jourdain, the kind of Dornish contingent. Lord Hightower is there, of course. You also, Marzia, quickly notice your, I believe it's both younger brothers, the two Crane boys, who actually are just separate from your parents, who you can't quite find in the crowd, and they're a little further back. But yeah, you guys have the floor now. This is your party. I have NPCs who will talk and react and do stuff, and you guys could do what you like. Don's champing at the bit to get in, so you guys can be towards the back. I think you could see this if you wanted to, you and Mara.
I think we said that we were going to kind of try and time our arrival for after some of the speeches at the beginning.
Okay.
So that people were already busy doing stuff when we got there.
Sure.
Yeah, so we're we're less noticeable.
Yeah.
So there's still folks hanging outside. Like there's still hedge knights. There's still like people who are trying to keep cool, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, you can hang
I
around
think
out there
Sam,
for sure.
if you're good, we could hand wave the actual opening speech because I haven't written one.
Yeah, sure.
But it essentially ends after everyone's been welcomed and brought in, and Bryn has said his small part of it, with Marcia saying that they have a very special announcement. And as part of that, she announces that she would like to present the betrothal of her daughter, Maria Greenmont, to Lord Ellery Peak. And then she would signal for Maria to come forward.
Sam,
Steps forward.
with that announcement, Enzo is going to be scanning each of the lords to see if he can grab a reaction and kind of gauge how they react to it.
Sorry.
The main big ones.
You just want to take a look at the crowd, basically.
Yeah, I want to take a look at the crowd, see if anyone's pissed off, see if anyone's angry.
Sure.
He just wants to pinpoint.
Sure. So this is going to be awareness, empathy,
Okay.
and this is going to be, I think, just difficulty 12.
Okay.
And then each degree of success, you can kind of pinpoint a person, and
Okay.
I can let you know how to do it.
30, because I add 4 on it because I'm a water dancer.
Whoa! Bloody hell. Okay.
I got like 3 6s in that as well. So.
Yeah. All right. So let's just say it's 4 degrees because I'm a bit lazy with the maths.
No, that's fine. Yeah, I think you can only get 4 degrees.
You can only get
max.
4. Yeah. I don't actually know if it's 3 or 4. I just whatever it's 4.
Okay, cool.
That's stonking. So yeah, who specifically are you looking at?
I am looking at. Let me get the list just very quickly.
I would say very basically that you look around the crowd and there is a mixed response.
Okay.
Of kind of a slight shock and again a smattering of applause and a couple of cheers from.
How do
dotted.
the Dornish houses react?
You look towards the Dornish houses, who in particular are here. Again,
Which is
what
is it?
Well, yeah,
Fowler.
we'll focus on the main boys. Jourdain, Fowler, Manwoody, Corgyle, House Will, House Dane. They don't look so happy about it.
Okay.
The one that particularly looks more angry than shocked is a man with the flash of a red tunic and Shawani, with black scorpions on, and that is House Corgyle.
Okay. Thank you.
Anyone else you want to pinpoint?
Yeah. What about Makar's here, right?
He is indeed.
I'll do Makar, Leo, and just those 2.
Leo is giving you a kind of mild ambivalence, but a good clap.
Okay.
It's probably more demonstrating the clap than it is, a proper proper applause, right? But then Makar is kind of stony-faced as usual. Only in that there is a wrinkle at the side of his lips as he smiles slightly on one side, and again, like Lord Leo, he's kind of like applauding quite slowly. His expression reads more of a "I see what she did there" rather than real approval.
Okay.
Yeah.
just one more. Are there any Reacher houses that are really disapproving? Like the big ones, like any ones that look pretty pissed off or angry or.
I wouldn't say so, to be honest.
Nope. Cool.
No.
Okay, so Dornish angry, everyone else in there. Got it. Thank you.
Sorry to be predictable. Yeah. But there is kind of the sound that you get is of kind of general applause and polite applause, at least, or amongst lords and ladies. And so is that a cue for Lord Ellery to step forward as well? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he does so, as you will have talked about, you will have discussed and prepared for. He, would presume, like, maybe would take Miria's hand.
Mm.
Like, I would imagine they would almost, like, kind of weirdly, like, present their hands being held. That feels like a nobility thing to do.
Yeah, right? Like
they would hold hands and almost, like stand there with their hands held. Look at us. We're holding hands.
It's performative, like, affection, right? Like,
yeah,
we are definitely a couple.
Yeah.
I'm
they're
sure...
both really awkward about it, too, because it's not, like, their bag.
I'm sure we'll have much to discuss about this in the coming days as part of the tourney of the Southern Kingdoms. But tonight is about music and food, the forging of new ways, and hopefully some fun. So in place of the normal betrothal speeches, I would like to invite my daughter Miria to present to you a song to begin our celebrations here. And Marcia is going to step back and bring Bryn back out of the way with her.
Mm-hmm. And Miria, for a moment, squeezes Ellery's hand very tightly, as Miria hates being in the spotlight. Like, this is her worst, like, well, it's not her worst nightmare. She's lived a lot of it, but it's a big social anxiety thing. And she steps forward and she closes her eyes for a moment, takes a deep breath before she starts to sing. And this is a song in a ancient Dornish tongue, and it starts off sorrowful and slow before it picks up into something much more lively and befitting a ball. And she's lost in it as she's singing. Her eyes are closed. She's gesturing with her arms as she's just lost in that moment. And as she sings that last note and it hangs in the air, she opens her eyes and smiles warmly and brushes a little tear from the side of her eyes.
Okay. Make me a persuasion breeding test, please.
Breeding.
This is going to be difficulty 15.
Can
All
Marcia
right.
have assisted with that setup of the speech in like presenting of it?
I actually, like, I'm going to say no. It feels like it's a very... She's on the spotlight, like this is her moment. You because I think this could go either you're like, and here she is, and she's terrible, or you could be like, here she is, and it's fantastic. Like if you were duetting or something, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
No.
But yeah, the performance itself is no.
Okay.
You have 4 bonus dice and a test dice in your frame, just FYI.
Yes, I'm gonna use a test dice.
All right.
I'm just making sure I don't have anything I can add to this with my benefits. I do not. Okay. Drop none. No modifiers. Wait, what?
No, I don't know what happened there.
That did not work, did it?
No.
66. Drop lowest. 1. Shit. Sorry, one sec.
That's all right. No
Do
worries.
66 and then keep however many you're keeping.
Yeah, there we go. 23.
Oh, okay.
Voice of an Angel, Mary Greenmont.
Bam. It's the performance of a lifetime. There are splits, death drops. No.
I was about to say Charlotte Church who, but we both went in 2 very different directions.
We did, yeah. Well, I don't know. Charlotte Church no later work. Maybe it's up. Anyway, like, yeah. Voice of an Angel. Okay, I mean, so you don't earn money, but at least you didn't critically fail and offend your audience.
I
Cool. I am gonna give you a +1 bonus dice to because of it in terms of some persuasion stuff. Like if you feel it applies, we can apply it.
Yeah.
Like if it helps them, the goal of it was kind of help with the Dornish side of things because we knew that would be the negative. So it's like, here's a Dornish song.
+1 bonus dice with persuasion to Dornish people for the rest of the night.
Got it.
I sang a Dornish song. Look at me.
Did you know I'm half Dornish?
Did you know?
Did you know? Crinkle.
Anyway,
so yeah, I think when she wraps up her song, she sort of gestures then to the gallery for the musicians to like play something a bit lively because it ended lively, right? We don't want to go into some like dour, slow.
Can we kick into the bear, or like something along those lines, like a proper like
Yeah.
stomper?
Oh yeah. Okay. A stomper.
A reacher stomper to contrast with the Dornish epic.
Do you want Bordy or do you want?
Yes.
You want Bordy? Well, Best of the Barmaid comes right up.
Perfect.
Bam! There it is. It's a very quick three beat to the bar rhythm, and away we go. To begin with, I think a lot of people will mingle and will chat and stuff like that, but we don't have to cover any of that. We don't necessarily want to. I want to get to a dance because we have some really cool mechanics for dancing. So, friends, let me take you through this. Okay. So, what we're going to do is the intrigues tonight and next session as well for the majority are going to be built into the structure of a dance. And these are the kind of dances where lords and ladies would start off with one partner and they would shift down the line or they would move about and they would exchange partners and then you would end up together again at the end and then the dance would be ending. So at the beginning of your intrigues, we're going to run all the intrigues you want to do at the same time because I want to hurt myself apparently. Trying to like NPC and keep objectives on like 5 different people at once because that's cool. You choose your partners and then we're going to run them all together. Your initiative is now going to be agility breeding, not status breeding. Charlie, do you reroll ones?
I reroll 6s because I have
sixes
a flaw.
on agility. That's what it is. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and if you have an actual flaw in agility, you -1 dice as well.
Yes. Yeah, it's a flaw called inept, but it affects my agility.
Yeah. You can only target the partner in front of you. So I might have to draw myself some diagrams to figure out. You may have to keep track of your partners, because I might not remember. After 2 exchanges, or if I'm in the mood for a particularly lively song like Best of the Barmaid, it might be just 1 exchange, and you have to swap partners. I am normally very conscious of keeping roleplay going and keeping discussion going because it's really cool and it feeds into the juicy fruits, right? I am going to be cutting in with timing and new stanzas and right, change partners, off we go, we're going again, roll your thing and go. This kind of intrigue is going to be, you're going to get 1 chance to say a few words to somebody as they pass by your face really quite closely, and then you're gone, and then you're into the next kind of bar or something, right? So we're going to keep it moving. Intimidation and bargain techniques for these intrigues going to be at -1 dice. So you're going to roll everything, and if you're trying to intimidate or to bargain with somebody, then you're going to then drop a dice off that test. But charm and seduction techniques are going to provide or going to be bonused with a +1 keep dice during these intrigues. This is the time when people forge alliances and screw. So that's what the dancing's really about.
We're in season 4, people. Here we go.
We're doing it. All right. I'll open the floor as the floor is open for dancing. Does anyone want to target anybody here? You've got your list of lots of people. If anyone's not on the list, just say, this house and vaguely this person, then we might see. Who do you want to target?
Arxia will be bold and brash and ask Lord Tyrell to dance as he is her whatever lord.
Liege Lord.
Currently, for now.
Yeah.
Currently, for now, TM Independence 101. Forever. Okay. So I don't know how I'm going to draw this. I'm going to skip it.
When you do it with tokens, Sam, and just do tokens and then just whoop.
Yeah, I might. Look at me being all prepared and not.
Pro GM.
Pro
All right.
GM.
For now, also for the cast, I will try and keep track of it in Zoom meetings of who we're next to, so we can do it in there. A line means dancing with, an arrow means adjacent to.
I'm going to line them up on my page too. So Marcia and Leo Tyrell. And then what I can do actually is partners. I'll cross out and then move down long. And yeah, I can do it. Anyone else?
Give me Jordan.
Okay.
It's like a freaking meat market.
Really is.
I mean,
Take
it
6
is.
pounds of Jordan.
Oof.
200
Sam-
dragons!
Samuel will ask Lady Orenna Dane to dance first.
All right. All right. See, half of this is figuring out who dances with who. I'm like, all right. It's Olenna, is it?
Arena.
Arena.
And it's Stefan Jourdain, if you want his
I don't
Sam.
know her. Yeah, Stefan Jourdain. Yeah. Anyone else?
Mara seeing Samwell asking Lady Orenna Dane to dance, she will go and ask the Lord Jared Dane to dance.
Ooh. What's it with the Danes, man?
They got that cool sword.
They do. Everyone wants the
That's
sword.
it. That's it.
But you're not dancing with
I
the
can
sword
get
in the
that
morning.
sword, then I'll
Yeah.
have 2 swords. 2
Dual
Valyrian
wield.
steel
Just-
swords.
One of them's not Valyrian steel.
No.
Oh
but
yeah, it's like meteorite, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
pretty good though.
It's made of a fallen star.
Yeah.
Like, come on. It's pretty cool.
Might
Tom.
be even better. You know what? I think I'll go with Lady Faye Rowan.
All right.
Ooh, Enzo getting in there.
Yeah.
Okay. And the epic ballad "The Dance of Dragons" begins. As this is a long dance, and we'll start things off with some longer exchanges. Okay. I would like everybody to roll agility breeding, please. And do you know what? I'm just going to go with like an average of like 12. I
Does my
think.
head of house benefit count?
No.
Okay.
This is dancing. How well were you taught to dance? That's your breeding bonus dice.
I have no breeding.
Well, then you weren't taught to dance very well.
But I will spend 2 of the bonus dice on my overlay.
Sure. Okay. Let's take those off. I do feel like we're lacking a little bit of music. I can go to tabletop audio. Let's...
So it begins.
Here we
What?
go.
I have really been enjoying chat suggestions tonight for our soundtrack. We've had Busted,
I know.
we've had Sound of Silence, we had Dornish Freebird, which I'm about.
Play
It's
Wonderwall.
basically what Miria sang, Donish Freebird.
What's Reach a Despacito?
Just Despacito.
Yeah. Where's the... I swear there was music for like the court or something in here. Maybe it was the tavern. Sorry. Just derail the stream completely as I figure out what music to play.
It's okay. I'm looking at what I rolled and realizing that Mara is not the most agile of people. I forgot I had bonus dice.
Enzo's like the best dancer. Oh my god,
Yep.
Samuel! How have you rolled so high in agility?
He's got the breeding, mate.
He's got a shitload of
6
breeding.
and then
Yeah.
3
He's
5s.
fast and
Is
he's
he?
well bred.
Oh, no way.
Enzo's
Like
quick,
a regal
but
bear.
hasn't got the breeding.
Yeah.
Mara was not prepared for such
Oh my
a
God, that's loud.
fast-paced song this early in the night.
Stop. That's so loud. Why is it so loud? Where's the cue? There's the cue. Okay. We're not going to play it so fucking loudly this time.
Lady Purple just
There
put
we
in the
go.
chat, Mara and Samuel crashed the wedding by Busted.
Yeah.
Yep.
Alright. Good. We got some music going. It's a bit loud. There we go. Alright. So... Actually, do you know what? I'm not going to track the initiative of my NPCs. It's you guys. So Samuel goes first. So you and Arena Dane are dancing. See episode 1 for my description of Arena Dane, because I can't honestly remember.
So yeah, Orenna Dane is Oliver Ironwood's sister, married into the House of Dane now. And so yeah, the song starts as this upbeat tune, and Sam is a large man, but he bounces. I'm like, he moves and he sweeps in such a way that he manages to not bump into anybody or knock anybody over. And as he kind of comes face to face with Orenna Dane, he just smiles broadly, lightness in his eyes and in his body, and says, "My Lady Orenna, it's a pleasure to be here at the same feast and tournament as you and the great House Dane." And continues to dance. But he doesn't take his eyes off of her. There's a constant smile there.
Sure. She asks, as you turn again, one time, again coming close and then parting, "My lord, did you not come here with another?" And then she moves away.
And he kind of twirls and spins and flashes a smile to some random lord who's like right behind him as he turns, before he sweeps back closer to her again. And he says, yes, Lady Mara of House Ukart, my dear friend."
And she gives you this look of like, Oakhart. Okay. And she continues to dance. So, what's the technique you want to use? And what would you like to do?
He's just trying to impress her with his dancing and his smile, and trying to ingratiate herself. So I guess the technique would be charm.
Yeah, for sure. All right. She is going to. Yeah, so roll for me then. You got 4 bonus dice and 2 test dice in here, mate, if you want them.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna say I think I want to hold on to him for now,
sure.
at least.
No worries.
15.
Oh, I actually need an NPC sheet, don't I? She is
Oh, awesome. Awesome.
a lady.
Yeah, save your anointed done.
That
Never
is
know.
going to be 2 degrees of success.
Okay. So that's 8 influence.
Okay. Okay. All right. And so she is going to withdraw. This is will dedication. I'm going to use test dice because I have a jillion of them. So I'll roll. Ugh, that was terrible. So that replaces her intrigue defense. Okay. So then we go to, and I will need to write this down so I remember who is first. We go to Enzo next.
Okay. Enzo is going to be very cheerful. He loves to dance, and he's going to kind of quickly gauge how skillful Lady Rowan is in the dance, to make sure that he doesn't do something maybe too advanced or something for her. So he's going to kind of like dance with her, that she's comfortable, and kind of like a nice setting for her to make sure that she's having fun as much as he is. And he's going to have a big smile on his face. He isn't wearing the hat. The hat might get in the way, so that's to the side. And he will say, sorry, 1 sec.
Just Susie, did you roll on your agility thing?
Yeah, I got 11.
Oh, okay, cool. Sorry, Tom. go on.
No, that's okay. And he will say, "My Lady Rowan, it is so glad that I have a chance to dance with you. I imagine that you will have many dance partners tonight. I'm glad to get the first."
She actually blushes a little at that, as she tries to keep up with the moves of the dance, and she often looks to you to try and copy. And then she, as you are passing in one of the moves, she says, "Oh, I never thought I'd be dancing with the famous Enzo Sal."
You do. Oh, it is fine. I am grateful to be dancing with such a woman as yourself. Someone like you is rare in Westeros at these times.
Why is that?
Someone alone, in charge of their own house.
You can see her bristle a little bit at that.
And he continues to dance, and he'll. I imagine that you will have many suitors tonight. So why don't we make them a little jealous? And he's going to go in a little closer and do a little something kind of spiral thing, just to make it a little better for her.
All right.
Just to get like more attention on her.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, roll your technique for me then.
Okay, I'm charming. I want her to like me.
Cool.
Essentially,
So it's
just
a
going
plot.
for the charm.
Oh, nice. All right. So it's a +1 keep dice, and because of the environment.
Yep.
And you've got 4 bonus dice and a test dice in your frame.
I think I'm okay. I'll just roll.
All right.
I re-roll ones.
Oh, yeah. That mechanically attractive man.
Yeah.
Enzo Sal.
Ooh.
Oh.
So that's what's that?
Add 5, basically.
33, 30, something like that. Yeah.
Oh, jeez. All right. Is she one of my primary characters? I think she might be still. Yep. That is 4 degrees of success.
So that's, oh god, quick math. 16.
Yeah, I mean, what? So you succeed the intrigue. So, for everyone else, Lady Rowan is out, because Enzo has beaten her. What's the objective you had? So what's the thing for her?
The objective
Charms.
is,
You're going to get +1 to your persuasion and deception test for the next intrigue with her.
I just want her to like me.
Yeah,
I
oh
want
no,
her
for sure.
to really like me, and I want people around the room to see that I'm dancing with her, and then she's like, to make people jealous.
Nice. Yeah, absolutely. By the end of this dance, by the time she comes back to you, her moves will have almost weirdly improved as she just kind of gets into the rhythm of it and enjoys herself, basically. That's half of it. So, yeah. All right. She's out. It is now over to Miria with Lord Stefan Jourdain.
Yes, so much like Enzo, she goes in with the smiles and the cordiality, and she says, "My Lord Jardine, welcome, welcome. I trust that your travel was easy and that your camp was well set up." You know, she's hitting him with that small talk.
Mm-hmm.
I trust you have been untroubled. And she kind of casts a glance at the Reacher Lords around them.
Oh, as untroubled as I would expect to be. And that's like all he says for the exchange as you dance around together, and he, as you move around each other as the dance carries on, he doesn't take his eyes off you. So I am going. I'm actually gonna. I'm gonna like. I'll kind of like spend one of my bonus dice to do this first, rather than for the roll, and then I'll retarget.
Okay. Let me remember. I have a thing for retarget.
Yeah, it's normally against your passive deception, so that
Yes.
that might add to that.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I have.
And I'll use a test dice as well.
Okay.
So actually
Get
roll.
to add my cunning to my passive deception.
Nice. 22.
Oh, yeah, that beats it. Mine was 16.
Nice. All right. I've spent one of my test dice as well. All right. Cool. So he's got some.
Oh, you'd find out her disposition, right?
Yeah. What's your disposition towards him?
Friendly.
Okay. And +1 to your +1 dice to my next persuasion test against you. All right. Roll your technique for me.
Okay, we're just gonna smash him with some charm, I think.
Nice.
Just get him. Persuasion. Nope. Charm, and then I get to add a +2 to charm. Yes.
And your Dornish bonus.
Oh, my Dornish bonus. Thank you, Charlie. Bonus dice.
Just handing out those bonuses like confetti tonight.
And the extra for charm because we're dancing.
It's 24.
Oh!
Oh no, wait, hang on. An extra one because we're dancing as well. An extra B.
Extra dice.
Hang on. An extra
The
B.
whole keep dice.
Extra D.
That's a 30.
That's a 30. Yes, it is.
That is
That
charming
is
as fuck.
going to be 4 degrees of success.
Oh! Okay, so that is... Oh, man, I always forget what charm is. It's your persuasion rank, right?
It's your persuasion rank.
That is base 4.
So times that by 4 is 16.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah. You get him to like you more.
That's basically the goal, right? To get him friendly.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. All right. Oh, damn it. Thought I was in it for the long game then. All right. We are over to Mara with Gerard Dane.
There we go. Yeah. You'd think after all this time I'd remember to hit that button.
I loved how it was just like, mute, yeah, there you go. Just
So I think, they're into the dance, and Mara's a little bit slow on the uptake, I think, to start with. She doesn't expect this to start with such a energetic piece. Usually it kind of builds up throughout the evening, but that's not what's not what's happened here. And I think she turns to him and just says, "My mother would tell me stories about Starfall. She described it as a very beautiful place."
Oh, it is, my lady. Sorry, with a slight Dornish twinge. As Sam forgets. Told you this would
Sam
end in
forgets that
tears.
Dornish people sound Dornish.
Yeah.
And I think she kind of smiles at that and says, "I should hope that one day I get to travel to see it."
It is not so far.
It is not. But unfortunately, the Reach and Dawn, not always on the best of terms, I'm afraid. Sad, really.
I wish it were not so. Go on, roll your technique for me.
I mean, she is trying to charm him, to kind of get on a level with him and show that, like, you know, she's not trying to do anything necessarily like dishonest right now. She's just kind of making that awkward, let's find something we agree on. And
I'm going to roll a withdraw first, see if I can't. He's trying to cover for himself, see if I can't get a higher score. So 6 is now his intrigue defense. Thanks. Good.
So this is charm.
He's trying to be really polite about it, you know.
So this is reroll once, and then as a bonus for charm, right? 1 dice. So many dice. That's 20. Sorry, I'm still looking things up.
Yeah.
Are there any-
It's an additional keep dice for charms.
Yes, and I should have rolled another bonus dice there actually, but 1d6.
That's alright. You figure yourself out. We're all good.
I mean, that's a 1.
Oh.
I'm not sure even if I rolled another bonus dice that I would get a higher score. If I did, it'd only be 1 or 2. So
is that 21?
21.
Okay. But that is 3 degrees of success. So 3 times your persuasion rank is
12. 12. Yeah. 12.
nice. Oh, that is just enough. No, sorry. I'm going to claw it victory out of your hands. And give him some frustration. FR1. I don't know what that is. Okay. Alright. As you can see that he's getting kind of strangely annoyed by your niceties as you dance. And Marcia with Lord Leo Tyrell.
I hope you're feeling generous tonight, my lord. I'm afraid I do not dance well, but I am delighted to dance with you.
And you, as he kind of looks you up and down as you begin the steps and take a few missteps.
I just hope your hands aren't too cold. And she kind of nods to the cutouts at her waist as they part. As she realizes, you know what? He's in this mood. Fine. We're just gonna do our normal dance.
Nice. Yeah, he uses the physicality of his dance in a way to I'm gonna taunt actually to like he's being quite precise with his movements. He's peacocking, like he's like he's properly like,
He's
look at me, I know this dance.
heels
It's the
and-
Dance of Dragons. This is the epic, and it's fantastic. We're gonna go into it. Yeah.
And Marcia is verbally taunting because she's doing the most basic version of the steps and trying not to stand on his feet.
For sure. Roll your taunt for me first.
All right. 11.
All right. Leo Tyrell. Sorry. God, this is like D&D combat. I am like not.
Sorry, Sam. I'm sorry.
No,
Going into this dark
I did
place.
this to myself, but I'm just not as practiced as I used to be. I'm just like keeping track of all this shit, right? And I don't like to hold things up too much. I like kind of keeping it flowing. Intriguing combat sheet, that'd be good.
I shouldn't retarget really, but taunt's fine.
Oh, you know, but yeah, like we've got to get it in early. Like people have already defeated people. These dances are going to be so quick. But I think it's gonna be good because a lot's gonna get done, right?
Yeah, I think she was intending to like get a read on him, and then he said something. And she was like, "I hate
Oh.
this guy."
Oh, like yeah,
It's like, "Oh, you're gonna be that bitch, all right."
yeah.
Can't stop myself.
It's not enough, I'm afraid.
No, that's okay.
Yeah, it kind of bounces off him as he just gets wrapped up in his own poncy. I'm gonna be the best dancer in the room, which is
He like stomps and drowns out the last thing she says.
Oh yeah, it's 100%
part of
on
that.
brand for Leo Tyrell. And we're gonna go to his 11.
Let me have a look. I don't remember. Intrigue. Nope.
Awesome. Okay. So yeah, there's an annoying, slightly frustrating exchange as the dance goes on, and then we swap partners. So, oh man, if I have to stick to genders, this is going to be really difficult. I'm not going to do that.
Don't do it.
I'm not gonna
Swap
do that.
Partners.
No.
It's like there's that part of the dance where all the ladies come together and they do the 12s in the middle, and all the guys are stood next to each other, being the archers or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Enzo, you're now dancing with Leo.
Oh, good.
Marty, you're now dancing with Jourdain. You unfortunately can't affect him. We can still talk. We can still do a little bit of roleplay. I'm not gonna, but he has been defeated already. Miria, you are dancing with Arina Dane, who happens to like you, and you have happened to got +1 dice on your next
I sure do.
intrigue against
Oh
her.
fuck! I have so many extra dice.
I've
like got books upon books.
Yeah, +1 dice on all deception and persuasion tests. Good. I just didn't nerf that. I think that means what it means. Yes, it does. Okay, I remember. Mari, you're now dancing with Lady Rowan. And Samuel, you're now dancing with Gerard Dane. Who is looking visibly annoyed. Okay. And we're ready. Samuel's exchange is the first. What's your... so this is... I've just as we were playing, figured out how I'm going to do the other initiative rolls. What's your status?
My
yeah,
like,
Don. Just your
regular
rank. What's
status?
your status rank? Yeah.
Oh, it's 4 with a 2 in breeding.
Okay, you go first, actually.
So I think as the dance partners exchange, Samuel spots Mara there, sees this sort of frustrated look on Gerard's face, and so when partners exchange, he moves quickly. Like he actually like crosses
Like
a good deal of
intercepts?
ground with some long legs. Yeah, he intercepts and he spins around in this moment, and he's gonna probably break custom and actually like touch Gerard as he starts moving around him, and he gives him a big smile. And is Gerard's status at least 4?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
I get to make a free action status roll to see if I get some extra bonus dice versus him.
All right, go for it.
And I get 1 bonus dice for each degree of success over 0. Or over 5.
Ooh, excuse me. What's the
So-
what's this roll against? Sorry.
It's like if I hit 5, I get 1 bonus dice. If I hit 10, I get 2, and I can get up to 4.
Oh, it's like difficulty 0.
Yeah.
What? Oh my god. Okay. Cool.
So 2 bonus dice. Yeah, okay, so
3.
3.
Yeah.
Okay.
A score of 5 will net you 2 bonus dice. A score of 10 will net you 3.
Oh.
It's like
Okay, so
0 to 4 is the first success.
So Samuel is dancing. He's actually making physical contact with Gerard, who is an older, like middle-aged man. Is that right?
Middle-aged lord, yeah.
And he gives him a little smile. It's a little different than the smile that he gave to Lady Arena. And he says, "My lord, this is my first tournament. I can't tell you how excited I am to represent House Tarly and new ideas, to even be present amongst the great Sword of the Morning. I hope our families can be friends."
Well, let us hope that you can provide some better. I'm not sure really. Than House Tarly has in the past. And he kind of tries to concentrate on the dance as he kind of like moves around a bit.
He smiles and he like spins and bounces with the music and makes another moment of physical contact, and he kind of like gives him a wry look and says, "My lord, I'm certain that I can."
All right, roll with technique for me.
Yeah, this is seduce. And I'm gonna use all 3 of my bonus dice that I just got on this.
Yeah, you just got married, dude.
He and Alistair are peas in a pod, you know?
Mate.
I also think we've discovered that Maro doesn't really mind too much.
I mean, no, that's true.
23.
Right. 23 will net you 3 degrees of success.
All right, so that will be 12 influence.
All right, you have seduced Gerard Dane. You instill feelings of lust and affection in your target, improving their disposition by a number of steps equal to your rank in persuasion.
It's 4.
Nice. Each day after the intrigue, the target disposition lowers by 1 step until it is 1 below their starting disposition. I gotta write this down now, Don. Thank you very much. Right.
Have a tourney, they said. It'd be fun, they said.
This is amazing. Okay. Cool. So he's defeated. So he doesn't take any action after that. He does eye you from the side, kind of strangely, but it is a look you are familiar with. From another man who is questioning what you're doing and is trying to suss out the situation.
Sam's smile in response is just this innocent and almost boyish look as he continues to move and prepare to meet with a new partner.
Cool. Okay. Then we move over to Enzo and Lord Leo Tyrell.
Now I've been struggling here. Do I try to embarrass him or do I try to, oh, dude. Okay. I am going to... You know what? I'm going to go for the embarrassing. I'm going to see if I can outdance him. Okay. I don't know how that's going to do, because...
It's a taunt, mate. I mean, it's basically tripping him up, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, why not? Let's
All
do
right.
it. What is it? What do I roll? Taunt.
Yeah, taunt. So, yeah,
This
this
is my
this will be
persuasion.
persuasion taunt. What I'm going to say is if you critically fail, which in essence, if you get more than 5 or more under what you needed, then, like, he figures out you tried to trip him up.
Oh, this will be fun. In that case, I'm going to use...
Actually, hell no. A failure, he figures out you tried to trip him up. Just a
Oof.
straight failure.
You know what, then? And I will use 2 bonus dice as well, then.
Okay.
So persuasion.
From your
taunt,
doodad, yeah? From your frame.
Yeah. Here we go.
Oh, spend them if you got them. That's what I say.
Spend them if you got them. 21.
Woo! Yeah, it's definitely going to beat him. It is double. That's a 6. Because we haven't done a crit yet, have we? Well, we probably have. I just missed it.
Yeah, it was. I think it was just so over that they already went out.
Ignore 2 of your opponent's DR.
Hang on, I just need to double check something.
Okay.
Okay, no. Attractive wouldn't, because he's, unless he's attracted to males, I don't think the reroll ones would count, really, in my opinion, with the attractive thing.
I'm gonna let it. I would re-roll, mate. It's not It's not necessarily about his sexuality. I think is.
Oh, it's just the charm.
It's just that kind of. I think it's that kind of unfortunate thing that like attractive people seems to do better socially.
Okay. It didn't change anything. It's still 21.
All right, fair play. Oh my god. Take away that. Is 2 degrees of success, I think.
And it's my awareness rank. So 2 degrees is 10.
Oh, sorry, it's not double. So there's no crit. Sorry. So 10.
Yep.
Okay.
Sorry, he was a dick to Marcia, so I mean, he had to
Alright.
be put in his place.
Yeah, absolutely. And he is like just tripped up a little bit, but then gets his feet again, and I took them from Mara's frame. Sorry, hang on.
Thank you for the donation. Thank you.
Why did that go? What?
No, I think you took Marcia's.
Did I take Marcia's dice?
Yeah, I should be 2 less
Right.
than what I've got.
You can take Marcia's dice if it means you trip up.
Oh,
later, Tyrell.
Marcia.
Yeah,
Okay.
not Mara,
It's all the
Marcia's,
M's.
Yeah. So many M's.
Dagnabbit. So you should have 3, and Tom should have
2.
2. Perfect. Thank you very much for pointing that out. Okay. Yeah, he gets tripped up. He finds his feet again. It's a proper little embarrassment. A couple of people nearby, like he doesn't like it's not flat on the ground, but he kind of pushes into someone a little bit, apologizes, and then kind of starts to dance again.
Can I just say, oh, forgive me, my lord. I will slow down to go more your pace.
All right, and he says, no, not at all. You are the famed dancing master, are you not?
That I am. And he big smile and continue dancing.
Jesus, this guy's fucking rubs. Right, I'm gonna add a test dice to this. I think I have to. Why did I make Leo Tyrell so shit?
Because he's a shit person, Sam.
Yeah.
That's why.
Because
8?
fuck the Tyrells.
Yeah.
Against my intrigue defense?
Yeah.
No, that doesn't.
God damn it.
Great, not.
All right. That is the end of that exchange. Miria is up next, dancing with your ish-in-law. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's Irina, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Maria waits until there's a moment where the two get closer to dance, and she says in a hushed tone, "If I told you something, could you keep it in confidence?"
Of course.
And then when they separate, they twirl back in, and she whispers in her ear, "I'm Oliver's daughter."
All right.
Button.
What is your status?
Status is 3.
Okay, so she is going to go first.
Greenmont cannot keep secrets.
Nope.
It is known.
There's a strategy here.
Sure thing.
Charlie's gonna kill me.
Then she says very quickly and fleetingly, then it's doubly important that you can't marry Ellery. Convince. 15.
Oh, that beats my intrigue.
Okay. 1 degree.
My intrigue defense is 11, so
1 degree.
1 degree.
Just. You will take 2 composure damage.
Oof.
But remember your DR as well.
Yes.
So your disposition might be.
Okay. All right.
Hey,
Huh?
only 2 damage. Sorry, I'm used to everyone having wills of like 4 or 5.
Not my secondary NPCs, mate. No. Alright. Okie dokie. So actually, yes, so you can roll your technique now.
Okay.
As you've just dropped this bombshell on
I
her.
don't even know what my technique is now. I guess just we're just going for some influence damage.
Depends what you're trying to get out of that from her.
Yeah.
What the objective is. It doesn't necessarily about what you've said, it's about the intent behind it and what you're trying to get back from her.
Yeah, I guess it's sort of trying to like get help from her in a way. So maybe like I don't know, convince.
Would be convince, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Just trying to convince. Right. So I have. Oh, Jesus. All right. So that's 5, and then I have 1 because it's the ball. 1 keep die, then 1 because it's Auntie Jane and I've charmed her. So that's 7.
It's not a keep die because the ball. It's because it's convince, not charm or seduce.
Gotcha. All right. So that is gonna still. This will be 6. No, 5. No, 6. Oh my god. Sorry. Dropping 1. No modifier. 18.
All right. So that is 2 degrees of success.
So that's 4 is the base. So that's 8.
Oh, right. You got will of 4?
Yeah. Oh no,
Jesus.
Will. Sorry. Yeah, she has 4 will. Yeah.
Will. All right.
Hey, look, she's been through a lot.
Okay. Okay. So you've defeated her. So for the meta, what kind of what's going to be her? What would your intended action for her be? Come to you later and figure it out, or
Yes,
actually provide some help?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah. Come find me later. We need to talk, basically,
Sure
and
thing.
figure this shit out.
Okay. I can imagine that she gives you this look as you part and begin to move away and change partners, that as she's going to a new partner, and she's still quite elegant about it and she kind of knows where she is, that she's still looking at you as you part ways in that kind of help eyes, I guess.
Yeah, and I think Miria is also giving it that same look, you know, reflected back as in like, I just dropped this bomb, I don't know what the fuck to do either. We need to talk as long as she can before she breaks off, and then she's all smiles and hostess again.
Yeah. Oh, right, nice. Then it is Mara with Lady Rowan. You're muted again.
They haven't seen each other probably in at least a good 2 or 3 years. Like if Mara had been to Highgarden at some point during the time skip, which I imagine she would have done for something at some point. But they probably haven't spoken properly since the trial.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a bit of awkwardness here, I think,
100%.
at least on Mara's side, because of how long it's been, but also because Samwell was betrothed to the Lady Rowan, and after the events of the trial was no longer betrothed to Lady Rowan, and Mara is well aware of the rumours that have been going around at court. I think she probably, like she usually does, throws some fairly genuine pleasantries. Lady Rowan, it is good to see you. It has been far too long since we'd last spoken.
And you,
Glad to see you are well.
Lady Mara. She is a little surprised, strangely. But you continue to dance. What's your status rank?
My status is 4.
How many dice in breeding?
2, I think.
Okay.
2.
Then you go first.
Okay. I think kind of as they're dancing, and like Charlie said, it's that kind of bit in the middle where the ladies do all of the, the twirls and showing off of like the dresses and stuff like that. I think she just kind of comes out with it because she knows that there's not much time, and she says, "So how have things been? What are you doing with yourself these days, my lady?" And she's doing it in the tone that sounds like casual conversation, but with a kind of undertone of knowing that there's something going on, because Lady Rowan had confided in her that she suspected something was going on at court way back when at the trial. So she's kind of indirectly referencing that.
Yeah, she gives you more of a kind of stock response than you'd expect. She says, I find myself at court more often than not, in the company of his lordship, Lord Leo, and his small council. And yourself, what have you been doing?
I think Mara kind of almost laughs, because she knows that the Lady Rowan has heard everything that she has been up to in her time at court. And she says, "I'm surprised that you don't already know. The rumors fly around so quickly these days." No, I have been, I've done some traveling, and I'm trying to figure out what happens next with the current climate. And again, she's not trying to like push the point, but she's trying to let Lady Rowan know that she is aware of things moving behind the scenes, that she is not completely out of it. I think she's just trying to almost set in her mind that perhaps there is a conversation they could have at another time about this.
But she comes back with a question. A certain young man? Let's roll technique. Let's roll technique.
Let's see. I guess this would be more of a convince. She's not really charming her. She's trying to like plant the seed of like we should talk about things later.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see. Reroll ones. 1 test dice. 1 bonus dice. That's not how you roll dice in this.
Did you know that in Song Ice and Fire, dice are a poison?
That's going to be 27.
Oh, I mean, alright, that's 4 degrees. Sure. What's your will rank?
4.
Yeah, so you've defeated her. So in terms of the meta, what's the thing you want to get out of this? What's the thing you want to convince her of?
I think to convince her that perhaps there's something that she needs to fill Mara in on. Because Mara clearly understands something is going on, but perhaps doesn't know what. And the last time they spoke, they had they weren't quite allies, but I think they were moving to that point. Mara wants to know basically what Costain's up to.
Sure.
But if she mentions like a certain young man, I think Mara again will just kind of in that very carefree way that she's kind of adopted, just be like, "You mean Sir Samwell?" Yes, I've heard the rumors.
What I like to think happens is that just as you're saying that, you mean Sir Samwell, and you look over, he's her next partner. In terms of the dance, the role play of the dance. So she will move to him as you almost introduce him. We're going to go to Marcia and Lord Jourdain.
Sorry, I'm just recovering from those juicy fruits. Right.
We've got a bit of role play. He's been defeated, I believe.
Yes.
Yes.
By my pet monster.
Yes. Or was he? Because I don't have a meta thing for it. It was just charm,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah, it was
you
charm.
Improved the status.
I got like a 30 against him with a bunch of
Mhm.
crits in there. He's done.
Yeah. Sorry, friends. There's a lot to keep track of. Right, so... Cool. Alright, fab. Yeah.
I hope you are having a good evening, my lord. I'm glad you were here for the announcement.
It's a delightful dance, this. Sorry, in a Dornish accent. It's a delightful dance, this.
There are a lot of steps involved.
Smiley there. This is an epic ballad of our days. And he actually, he kind of helps you a little bit. He takes your hand where maybe he's not supposed to, if that's okay, and he, shows you some steps and stuff to almost kind of, mimic a bit more, you know?
I think perhaps I was overambitious to engage in a dance of dragons.
I believe they all were, really.
But ambition can be fun.
I see. And you kind of dance again and spin round and move and part and come back to dance again together.
And it doesn't always have to end with everyone dead.
Of course not.
I think Marcia's partially distracted watching Miria and Enzo and everyone else at the party occasionally. And I think that it's kind of throwing her a little bit because she's not used to this kind of level of social chaos and having to watch her own feet.
Yeah, for sure. He does say though, as you kind of dance again, and there's a pause before moving on to the next partner, but just before he does part, he says, the ambition of this young crane who courted the favor of his prince, his grace Prince Maker. And then he dances off the way. As he looks back at you as he says that, and then moves on to his next partner.
Mhm.
I think we've got. I'm gonna call the dance there that this epic ballad finishes. Just as Lady Rowan and Samwell come up to meet, and she's a little kind of apprehensive, but the dance is finishing, and I think it was only Leo that wasn't defeated, but yeah. Don, anything Sam will do?
Yeah, absolutely. As they come face to face, there's a moment of shock, but just a moment, and then he smiles and he says, Lady Rowan, it's very good to see you again.
Yes, my lord. It is good to see you. Please, enjoy the evening. And then she walks off rather awkwardly.
He watches for a moment and sort of chews on his jaw, takes in a breath, and turns and looks around just to sort of see who's about and if the musicians are preparing to play another song.
Yeah, for sure. The minstrels are taking a kind of just a minute or so of break, and then they'll be beginning up again. Lady Rowan actually heads back over to Lord Leo's side and then the two of them just start chatting and wander back over to one of the buffet tables. About you here are the characters we saw now, as well as a couple of Dornish lords, a couple of Reach lords, whoever you might want to pick out.
What about Bryn?
Charlie, what's your plan for Bryn? Is he to stay somewhere, or is he to kind of move about with some guards and maybe Braith at his side? Or
Yeah, I think Braith is kind of supporting along with, like occasionally Sir Babblebrook or someone kind of similar to that. The House Guards, I imagine, are watching kind of more from the dais than like shadowing him around the place.
yeah,
He
for sure.
is essentially being treated almost like he's an adult here, but with, Nanny there just in case he trips and falls.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. You look for Bryn then. I think he's taking some snacks from the from another buffet table, like away from. Yeah, someone's talking to him, like another Reacher Lord or something. Yeah, and he's just like taking food.
So Sam will stroll over to the buffet table, like right up next to him on the other side, and he'll take a couple of pieces of food too and munch on it, and wait for a moment with the other lord where there's silence so that he can interject. And he'll just kind of lean down a little bit. Bryn's so small and he's very tall, and just kind of lean down a little bit and say, "My Lord Bryn, are you enjoying the food?"
Okay. This is when I roll some knowledge test for a kid. Okay. He literally just asks, "Who are you?"
He'll kneel down next to him, with like maybe an apple in his hand. He takes a bite and he swallows it, and he as he's like fiddling with something hanging on the inside of his pants, like a little pouch, says, "Why, I'm Sir Samuel Tarly. I'm a knight. Do you know many knights?"
I know of a few. And then he kind of looks about your clothing again. And he says, I didn't see the red hunter clearly on your chest. Are you not displaying your colours?"
He smiles pretty broadly at that, and pulls out this little pouch about the size of his hand. And he says, I'll display my colors tomorrow for the tournament. Tonight I just wanted to dress how I wanted to dress. Do you ever feel that way, Bryn?
Are you riding?
I am. And
I shall watch for you.
I have a gift for you. And he sort of opens that pouch, and he pulls out this. It's a small figurine. It's a small wooden knight wielding a striped lance, riding a wooden horse. It's been chiseled and painted, and the knight's chest is emblazoned with the Greenmont heraldry.
He looks
It's
to
almost perfect.
Yeah. He looks to a hollow heart next to him, like looking up at him, and the hollow heart looks at this present you've presented, and he kind of gives the boy a nod, and then he takes Bryn takes it and looks at it and is kind of like really interested and intrigued by the carving and the painting.
He'll smile and he'll say, "A friend of my father's gave me such a present once when I was about your age. Bryn, I hope to see you in the crowd tomorrow. And remember, there's great honor in being a knight. And when you are grown and tall, well, the realm will need good knights and good men just like you."
And he's not stopped staring at this little figurine as you talk him through that. He even says, without really looking at you, "I hope you do well tomorrow." And then there's another lord behind you, like kind of trying to get either to the table or to Bryn. You're not quite sure right now.
Okay. He'll just kind of laugh that off and say, I do too. It's my first tournament. I'll see you there. And like a little conspiratorial gleam in his eyes, he stands back up and takes another bite of the apple.
Yeah, for sure. All right.
I like to think that Mara has been watching this from across the room. Like after the dance, she's grabbed, a pitcher of wine and poured herself a cup, trying to gain her breath back. And at some point, she's turned around just to see Samwell, on one knee giving Bryn this toy, and she hasn't seen her brother yet. And she's just watching her now husband with her little brother who has grown so much. And I think she's just stood at the other end of the hall. She doesn't want to go over. But she's just kind of watching this with a bit of a tear in her eye.
Oh, for sure. Is there anything anyone desperately wants to do this session as opposed to next session for the kind of other half of the ball before we wrap up? Anything I'm missing? We're about time, so... No? Alrighty. Cool. Well, that ends our playtest of my dance intrigue mechanics. Thank you all so much. That, as ever, has brought out an amazing degree of juice from the fruits, from the many fruits on the buffet table. Oh, man. There was a lot in there I did not expect. Let's turn this crowd down. Jesus. But yeah, that is where we will finish up tonight, folks. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's go around, have a quick chat, check in with everyone, see what the juiciest bit was. Oh my God, Mara, Jesus. Right. Charlie, welcome back, friend. It's been ages since we've had you.
Oh no, yeah. I feel super bad. So I had my holiday, and then I had my sister's birthday, and then we took a week off, and now we're back, and it's finally the ball, and it's the one thing I wanted, and I'm so happy that it's happening, and I am equal parts horrified and excited by everything that is happening, and I have been shouting in all of the places I can shout about various things. Yeah. My juiciest fruit for today. Enzo took his hat off to dance with Lady Rowan. He's after her. He took his hat off. That's the sign. My second juiciest thing is Miria Greenmont. Or is she?
We need to tape her like a Westeros Jerry Springer, right?
Like Maury, right? He's the one that does all the paternity tests.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah, that was pretty juicy. And like as we head off, any quick announcements? Anything you want to?
Oh, in a couple of hours, Susie and I will be playing in the Gen Con Online stuff. We're playing some Zweihander at 8:30. I can't remember which channel it is, but we'll post some details on our socials about it. And apparently, someone in the group's a traitor. It's a chateau. It's haunted mystery going on, and basically they've hired a bunch of bad guys to go and investigate and solve the problem because all the good guys keep dying. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Thanks so much. Alrighty. Tom.
Yes.
Awesome Enzo action as usual, friend.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
It's
a lot of fun, and this had I was waiting for the ball, and it was really nice to see the dancing intrigue in action. I really enjoyed it. I like the premise of it. I like the idea of it, and it was a lot of fun. And I got to humiliate a little Leo a little bit. I think it was worth it in the end.
That was pretty sweet.
It was worth the 2 bonus dice, 100%. I can't wait for the next episode of the ball. Enzo's got a few things he has to do. Hopefully he can kill 2 birds with 1 stone with what he's got planned for next week. But yeah, it was just there was just too much juice in this episode to really pick one that's like really stands out. It's just like, oh wow, we're going down this road, are we? Okay, cool. It's actually quite nice being kind of like outside but in.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Someone who's there but isn't going to be somewhat directly affected by it. It's great. It's so
100%.
like oh, I can just sit back and watch this destruction before me. It's amazing. So yeah, I can't wait for next week. I'm again counting down the days.
Oh, nice one, friendo.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Awesome. Are you not doing Pendragon's Parish again?
Oh yeah. So I'm not very good at this. So
alright.
on Tuesday, on Encounter Roleplay at 7 p.m. UK time, 2 p.m. Eastern, the return
Nailed it.
of Call of Cthulhu Tentacle Tuesday on Encounter Roleplay with Secrets of Pendragon, where the crew get back together with 2 new faces and continue on from last season of Pendragon's Parish. So you don't want to miss that.
Sorry, Pendragon means something entirely new to me now, and just some trolling Susie in chat. Thanks so much, man. I'm going to be watching. I caught the last season. It was really fun. So yeah, good luck, man. Awesome. All right, Susie.
Sam.
I am your father.
What? Who the fuck isn't at this point? Who? Enzo, you my dad? Is Leo Tyrell my dad? Who's my dad?
The real father was everyone we met along the way.
It's the dads we made along the way. I mean, shit for Maria, fuck. That is the case.
Yeah.
But juice like that you can't just sit on. And then she's given that fucking locket. I mean, come on.
I'm gonna have to roll Arena up as a proper NPC. I think she's gonna be a part of it. I need to get that familial connection too, because I've forgotten it entirely.
Sister of Oliver, so that makes her
Aunt.
Maria's aunt.
I love this because we'll never know.
That's the thing, right? And it doesn't, I guess it doesn't really matter what the truth is or not. It's what Mary decides to push and go for.
Yeah, it's what you decide to make it. Absolutely. Yeah.
Because anyone that could say different is dead. Or anyone that could confirm is dead. So she just goes with what she believes in.
I thought that was a threat, not a... okay. Whatever I say goes.
But yeah, shit, this episode was juicy as fuck. Virginia, our friendship is officially over. There will be no more fragging Friday. I can no longer talk to you. This is what I thought you were gonna do. So last week when I was like, I know what you're gonna do, and I'm not gonna vocalize it just in case it is what you're gonna do, and I give you not what I'll give you ideas. Fucking cold. How dare you?
You love me, really.
First of all. But no, it was good. It was juicy. It was top tier. Maria is her own dad. What if Maria was dad all along?
2020. Okay.
So yeah, Sam, put the kettle on. I'll be there in about 8 hours.
The fishing bed's out there ready for you.
Sweet. All right. But yeah, I'm so looking forward to next week and the other targets. I mean, people that I want to dance with at the rest of the ball because I have them. That Ellery dance might get really awkward, huh? If I speak to a runner before him. Well, anyway, we'll find that out next week. But as Charlie said, in about 2 hours, you can find me on, I think it's Gen Con Studio with Dan Fox, James Intricasso, TK Johnson, Charlie.
Nice.
I think there's someone else as well.
Matt
Jowett, that's right. We were all playing some Zweihander, so tune in for that. And then next week, I'm on Encounter Roleplay 2 days a week again. Because the Crown Lance is back on Monday. And I'm in Secrets of Pendragon on Tuesday as Lady Sana. So yeah.
Nice. So you're not doing Fraggy Friday tomorrow then?
No, I am doing Fraggy Friday tomorrow.
All right. Cool.
It'll just be me going, VY.
The team kills will be real.
Yeah, the TKs. I'll never be more toxic than I will tomorrow.
You got to do at least one. All right. V.
Hi.
It's not often that I should have fucking seen it coming. But it's not often that I really get surprised. But that took it. And do you know what I love? That because this was my favorite scene of the night. I love like weird scenes because I can inject a little bit of weirdness. And that's what sort of made it. And then halfway through, you cracking out the actual fucking vows. I was like, fuck, right, okay. It's real, it's happening. And then I was immediately trying to Google that marriage thing again.
But yeah. So Charlie's going to actually murder me because a couple of nights ago in Discord, she literally said, Virginia, I swear, if you get married in my Godswood, I'm going to kill you. So if I'm not here next week, folks.
What, you were like challenge accepted? I mean...
No, to be fair, I've been thinking about it ever since Don and I had talked about Samwell going with Mara to the Godswood. And depending on how things played out and the conversations they had, it was something that she was thinking about. She always wanted to get married in the Godswood. Her father's buried here. This is the closest he'll ever get to being at her wedding. And she just wants this for them. Like, forget the legality of it and whether or not anyone would accept it later on. Somebody might, and that might be useful, but, you know, she's already had a lot taken from her, and people are about to lose a lot more with what's coming. So this is more of like her going, at least we know. Fuck everybody else, we know.
Oh, no, V, it is 100% Song of Ice and Fire, and I'm 100% here for it.
I did pre-warn Don because I like to double check. Both of us like to double check of like, our characters are thinking to go in this direction. We don't plan whether or not they're going to follow each other in that. It's more of like a courtesy of, you know, we are playing characters who are romantically involved. But I had no idea what Don was going to do with Samwell there, so I was just like, I don't know how I'm going to play Mara if he says no, because she's going to be heartbroken.
Well, now he's flouncing around with the Danes. So, you know,
she knows that. That's...
You watch that, boy.
Oh, no. She knows he's flouncing around with the Danes. There's a reason.
Oh.
There's a reason that we're both dancing with the Danes.
Swords,
also, we already know Mara's got no issue with this. Like, her rule for Alistair was just, you can have lovers, just don't keep them from me, and remember who your wife is. So...
Oh, he remembers. In his cell. In the Red Keep.
She doesn't remember.
No.
He did this to himself. This is literally all his fault. All he had to do was not do a murder. That's all. It's literally the easiest thing. It's just to not do a murder. He also introduced Samwell and Mara, so also his fault.
Wow. The blame game is strong.
Look, if he hadn't have done a murder, he wouldn't have accidentally set his wife up with her next husband.
Look,
That's all I'm saying.
I'm moving on. You can't do your plugs. I'm sorry. No, go on. What's it?
You can find me tomorrow being team killed for this by Susie for Fracking Friday, 8 p.m. UK, 3 p.m. Eastern over on our Twitches. We have a multi-stream link so you can watch us both. We normally end up fangirling about After the Fire and then playing Siege terribly. So if you want to hear us talk about juicy fruits and tinfoil and Susie verbally murdering me, come and join us for that. And then I do The Witcher on Wednesdays if you want to see me talk to a horse a lot and make more questionable life decisions. Come and join me over on my Twitch for that. And every other Monday I sometimes do follower voted streams where I put a poll on Twitter and you can vote for what you want to see me do that week.
Awesome. Thank you so much, friend. It was awesome tonight. Awesome stuff. And Don.
Hi.
I have no idea what you're doing, and I love it.
I have no idea what I'm doing.
I
have no idea, which is very unusual for me. I'm usually very but no, it's actually pretty fun. I didn't know, I had an idea of what might come up today, but I didn't really have anything planned. But there's something super weird about like playing a character who's at the grave of my previous character, who's like complicit in the death of that character. And then there's these weird trees. I do it's not just my character. Like I actually find the Weirwoods super creepy. And I love it. I love it.
Okay,
they're awesome. They're great flavor for Game of Thrones. So that was a fun scene. I enjoyed the dance mechanics so much. I really liked everybody's role play. I liked trying to figure out because I don't know the other players' angles either. Like I don't really know what it is Susie and Charlie and Tom are up to, but I know they're up to something. And I really enjoyed trying to guess and tinfoil myself as I'm watching. And I thought the dance mechanics were a lot of fun. I didn't know how it'd play out, so me getting paired up with Gerard was a surprise. And now I have to live with the fact that I seduced an older Dornishman, at least temporarily. So I don't know what that means either, but I'm sure I'll figure it out. next session. I had a lot of fun though. I really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to the second half of the dance, and then the tournament too. Is just so many different different politics to kind of wrangle through. It was a surprise to me that the Korgoyles and some of the houses that are there were there. Especially with like you mentioned it in the game, but like the Battle of Brimstone happened really recently. Like that is a fresh wound. And my character was tied up in that too. So yeah, I'm excited to see how everything plays out. Nice. And not have any idea on my end ahead of time. But yeah, thank you.
No worries.
Oh, I should talk about like
plug.
Things. I always forget. I mean, I'm working on. I started recording for LFM Network this week for our new season. So there's like 4 new shows. We're doing podcasts. There's a bunch of stuff coming out. So that's been a lot of fun. And working on Terror, playtesting at my original horror game that I've been working on this year. But I'd say like the one big thing I want to shout out is the Dark Matter Kickstarter. I'm the lead writer on a number of the adventures and supplements that are being added into this Kickstarter box, this starter kit, which is a great way to learn how to play Dark Matter. If you've never played D&D before, you don't need to, because that's the idea behind the starter kit. And it's been doing so well. And so that means like more, I get to write more stuff. Which is super cool. I'm excited about all of that. It does mean more work. Yeah. I know. I've thought about it. I've done the math.
Good. I know you would.
Yes,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. No, I'm back really early, and I'm really pleased it's going really well for you guys. It looks super exciting. Kind of D&D in space is like 100% my jam as well.
Totally.
100%. Cool. Thank you so much tonight, friends, for what is an awesome episode. As for me, you can find me around the internet at RPG Webby, or you can find us around the internet at Follow Black Cats, pretty much anywhere. We do this game every Thursday. We're also working quite hard on a 5e like method working thing. Words are hard. Like a 5e game all about called the Spy Game, all about spies, international espionage, intrigue, all sorts of stuff there. You can find the quick start on Drive Through RPG. We had a Kickstarter last year, and that's what we're working hard to deliver. So it's still, I believe, although I'll probably get shouted out in chat, I believe there's still some late pledges left. It's still, the window, I think, is still open. So check that out if you fancy having a look at that, if that tickles your fancy. We're also chatting, I don't like to keep secrets about streams. We're also chatting about maybe doing some more streams soon, which I'm pretty into. Maybe looking at something like Acton Cthulhu again, or something like that. I love a bit of Acton. So, we'll look into some more streams soon, I think. But right now, right this very second, we are kind of knuckle downs into Spy Game. So, working a lot behind the scenes. Stares in viewer. All right, Pope. I see you. But thanks for joining us, friends. Thank you so much for sticking us right to the end too. And if you're here on YouTube, then please check us out if you can live on a Thursday evening, UK time, 8 p.m. or Eastern, 3 p.m. I'll say thank you very much again. We should probably find someone to raid because I'm pro. I haven't looked at that yet. Should we do that, Susie?
We probably should do that. Share some love.
Okay, cool. Play me out.
I really enjoyed that Sam did that outro as if he were a pilot, telling us that we were cruising at 60,000 feet and to keep all arms and legs in the vehicle at all time. I am about this life. I also want to shout out that Sam has been working really hard at Modifius, and they're releasing a bunch of cool stuff. They just released the Klingons game, which has some super cool artwork in it.
Yeah, we did.
From Susanna Grace, amongst other people.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
I'm not saying it's a super incestuous world, this TTRPG thing.
But 100%
But if you want to talk about the connections, join us on Black Cat's Discord, where you can check out all of the cool stuff. And on Fridays, every now and again, Susie is doing Fyre, which is a super cool feature, which gives you a little bit more background on the characters and the history of the world.
Yeah, all right. Hawk is Kai Hawkeye is streaming. He was. If I could find it. Oh, I was like right in my... There we go. Let's go over to him and see how he's doing on Skyrim. Yeah, all right. Start that raid. There we go. Please check out Hawkeye. He also does some really cool streams with WE2K20. That's what the game is called. Where Susie and the gang here assembled spent far too long making our characters from After the Fire in that wrestling game. And he does a similar thing on a Saturdays. He grabs people. Charlie and Susie are actually two of the wrestlers. So if you fancy a bit of WW as well, then check out Kai Hawkeye. And we've all played with him before, so he probably does some tabletops soon as well. So check him out. So stick around for him, because he is a very cool person. We'll see you soon, friends. Check us out next Thursday for the next part of The Ball. Farewell.